I met these guys that were staying in the hotel, and we're in a throuple now. No, I'm kidding. Your face.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
All right, we're back. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're thrilled to have you along. Caissie and I were just talking about just the shit show of the last few weeks, years, months. Who can keep track anymore? Caissie, I find every part of the way you're handling your grief incredibly beautiful, including that you're only watching The Jeffersons. I think that's great. And I think more people should take a page from you, which is just go easy. Am I right? I feel like I'm right, everybody. Oh, that's right. Let's hear it for Caissie.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know who the fuck she is, but God damn it, I hate her.
Oh, my goodness. Wait, so let's give everyone a peek behind the curtain. We already interviewed today's guest, Amelia, from the band Sylvan Esso, your friend.
One half of the band Sylvan Esso, her partner, Nick.
Sandy.
Also
Nick.
Sandy.
Two names. You'll hear about it later.
I fucking love a two-namer. Like, sometimes it's like a nickname, but also I went to college with a guy who started college and his name was Kevin.
Okay.
And then halfway through college decided he wanted to go by his middle name, Matt. So half the people called him Kevin and half the people called him Matt. And then ultimately his name just ended up Kevin Matt.
Which is worse than Kevin or Matt.
Way worse than both of those very boring names of somebody that was born in the late 70s.
I think it's so funny. I mean, who hasn't
Sorry, Matt.
wanted
Oh,
to
sorry to your
change
husband.
Oh.
Jesus. I just called his name boring. So
It's fine.
rude.
He'll be all right. He actually
all
does
right.
listen to this. Matt, I don't think your name is boring. I do think a lot of guys are named that.
Who were born in the mid to late 70s?
I mean, yeah. I worked
still? Probably.
I worked at a job one time when there were like easily 6 Matts.
I got to tell you something. I talk in our interview about hanging out with Jen, a new friend named
Yeah.
Jen.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm Jenned out.
Too many
Listen,
Jens.
if your name is Jen and you're hoping that at
Yeah.
some point we will become, we're not. It's not.
Yeah.
It's done. The ship sailed. I cannot have one more Jennifer in my phone. Jen, Jenny, Jennifer. I'm sorry, guys.
You know, it's one of those things. Like it's like it's your name. You know what I mean? But other people have it. And I guess it doesn't matter except to those of us outside of it whose name it isn't if we know too many Jennifers or too many Matts or too many Scotts or whatever. It's always a weird thing for me where when I'm in a situation where someone has my name because it's so uncommon. And so there have been 1 or 2 situations.
But also they don't spell it the same, I'm sure.
No, they don't. But just people saying Caissie, and I'm like answering for the first time, and people are like, "Oh, not
I feel
you,
like that's happened with
Caissie."
me and you. Where was there another Caissie with us? There was.
Oh,
I don't
Caissie
know where.
Musgraves. And we went to see Caissie Musgraves. And then I think like 2 people that worked for her were also named Caissie. And
Oh my
so
God, that's right.
we hung out after and
it was confusing.
and it was confusing. And also one time I was in line at Just Salads and they said, Caissie, your salad's ready. And I went to get it. And then this other lady reached for it and she was like, oh my God, my name is Caissie too. And then a lady to my left was like, oh my God, my name is Caissie too. And I was like, what are the chances that there are not Just Salads? What's the name of the salad place? Just Salads is the pasta salads. What salad place am I thinking of?
No, there's a place here in New York called Just Salads.
Oh, okay.
You've forgotten.
Oh, Suddenly Salad. Oh my God, I'm confusing Just Salad with Suddenly Salad.
Never.
These details aren't important. The thing is, at my salad lunch place, there were once 3 Caissies, and there were at least 3 Caissies at a Caissie Musgraves concert. I think possibly 4 at like the after party.
I don't think that's wrong. I don't think that's wrong.
I think that's true.
I was there as well.
I think there were 2 other Caissies that worked with Caissie Musgraves. But usually when someone calls Caissie and I'm like, yeah, and turn around, usually the case is someone says, oh, I'm calling my dog. And then I'm like, oh, that's my name too. Your dog's name is my name as well.
Well, I mean, I can't tell you how many people have said that to me about Birdie and or Cricket or both.
Well, I do have a dog named
Oh my
Birdie,
God, my dog's their name. Yeah, you do. So you know what you can do? You can fuck right off with your fucking complaint about people naming their dogs Caissie. Sorry. You don't even get to do it. The fact that you didn't change that dog's name as soon as we started working together just proves.
Oh my gosh. I have a friend from college that's family I was friends with both of them in college, and they did name their family dog Caissie, and I kind of felt like,
After they knew you?
yeah, like
Absolutely
like,
not. That's that cause for.
And I was like, I mean,
they're out of your life. They're done. They're dead. You know what they are? They're dead to me. I had to open that window, and I had to.
Yeah. So now, okay, so we interviewed Amelia.
Yeah,
we're
full
giving
disclosure,
people
guys.
full disclosure. We interviewed Amelia, and now I guess we're going back to the beginning.
This is the beginning of the
We're
podcast.
starting the beginning of the podcast, and
We'll begin at the
so-
beginning.
Yeah, and so you're saying your apartment is hot and it smells right now.
Well, okay, here's what happened. During the interview, because I eat, guys, again, just wait, I eat during the interview. And so then it was like kind of smelled like a turkey sandwich. And I had this spray sitting on my desk. That's what it's called. Has always been called that. Will always be called that. Had this spray sitting on my desk that somebody had sent to me, like a company. And I was like, ooh, this seems good. It's like a chakra spray, and it's like rose quartz, and it's like for healing your balance and your heart chakra. And I'm like, you know what this bitch could use right now?
Some
a
heart
little
chakra
fucking heart
balance.
chakra. Give it to me. Also, shout out Marcella Kroll
Yes.
for sending me last night. I was really in it. And we were just like DMing on Instagram about something else. But then I like kind of just like told her I was just really having a hard time. And she sent me like a really beautiful meditation. She just like emailed it to me. And then I listened to it, and it like calmed me down, and I went to sleep.
I love that too. She also did like
That
a
was-
nice thing on her altar for my family, which was very nice.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Well,
Check her out. Marcella Kroll, Saved by the Spell on Instagram.
Yeah, she's incredible. A good witch.
Yeah.
And a witch I'm happy to have on my side. Let me be real. Anyway, so I spray this like chakra spray toward the end of our talk with Amelia, and I hit it well, but it's just the worst smell to me ever.
Oh no.
Well, maybe it's because my heart is rotten, and black inside. So the heart chakra
Well, I was gonna,
spray.
maybe it's not your
isn't-
heart. Maybe it takes like potent chemicals to unblock your heart chakra. Like Drano doesn't smell good either.
Yeah, I just think that this is not for her. Like, I think whatever this is just, it's not the flavors that I like.
So now your apartment
now-
is hot and smelly.
So now it's like, smells like this thing. I'm like contemplating just like dumping the spray out. But what if I keep it? And because I'm like, I know I've sprayed it before and it hasn't smelled terrible. What if it really is smelling bad to me right now because my heart chakra is like black as the night?
It's possible. It could also be that normally palatable scent combined with turkey is gross.
Or that it's been sitting sort of like in sunlight.
Yeah. Could
And
be
it's turned.
Could be any
Anyway.
of these things.
So instead I lit cashmere and cocoa butter quartz, healing and clarity. And you know what? I like it better.
It smells good.
It smells
worth sticking your whole face in the candle.
honey, you really started something. And the fact that like now there's a fucking like we are guys, if there's one thing that I can really impart to all of you listening, it's that we are fucking witches. Like we are manifesting shit that you didn't even know you wanted manifested like a baby going viral on TikTok for sniffing candles. After we have this fucking conversation about it, because Caissie put it into the world that's what we needed, and the universe answered, "Boy, have I got a treat for you, motherfucker."
This is just what you want to see.
Let me ask you a question. Did it cheer you up a little bit, that baby this week?
Oh my God. I loved her. The baby's so cute. And I love that her parents are like implicitly insisting that she has amazing tasting candles. I don't doubt it. like I said, my son Eli, also candle sniffer for life, that he wouldn't go to the toy section in Target. He would go right to the candle aisle and sniff all the candles. And he still is like a really smell oriented person, which is great. Be who you are. Love smells. But that baby, I really did love that video. You sent it to me, other people sent it to me, and I was like,
I kept sending it to you. I was like sending you the new ones. That baby reviewed like every candle under the sun.
and she said she didn't like Tom Ford, and I
she
was like,
not into it.
And it was like without malice, but I like her reviews. She's just very plainly like, yes, I like that one. No,
Absolutely not.
and I just like that she knows that no is a complete sentence. And that's
what this generation has, though.
Yeah.
They have the ability to understand that they don't need to explain anything further.
Didn't need to qualify
is
it.
No, I don't need to qualify it. I don't need to apologize for it. Just fucking nope.
Yeah. Tom Ford will be okay. He doesn't need that baby's stamp of endorsement. Yeah.
No.
And,
Although I might be likely to buy a candle that baby endorsed.
Yeah. Well, this is what I was going to say, is that like, is she already an influencer? And like, do I need to know what candles she likes? And so, so if that baby's parents are listening, if you want to just DM us a list of her fave candles, I would love to know.
We're into it. We want it. I also found the plug for my ring light today.
That's good news.
No, you know what, Caissie? I'm going to say something, and I really fucking mean it, because I've been having, a rough go.
A rough go, yeah.
I am like feeling in this moment right now, and like, Lord knows that in 10 minutes it might feel different. I really do feel like it's about to shift.
I hope so. I think that finding your ring light is like, that's a good omen for, I have been thinking a lot. I'm going to put, I used to do this thing on the Substack where I'm like showing like 3 little things that have been making like a huge difference in my life. And I have been obsessed with bringing light into my home, because even though it's all windows and it's all sunlight, in the night it was pretty dark and it wasn't really set up for any kind of lighting. So that was like what I could do, was bring light into these areas that had been dark, and it is making a huge difference. And so I feel like light is, it's a little on the nose, but I think it's a good omen. Look, I put a chandelier in my office.
Oh, it's cute.
Can
It's
you
like
see?
your little Sputnik.
Wait, but do you want to see what's so cool? Wait, nothing more boring than listening to someone dick around on their phone, but
Oh, shit. Is it connected to your phone?
yes. Look
Oh,
at
God, you changed colors. She changed the colors. Guys, it's rainbow now. God, that's amazing. That is
It's
a little
like-
bit like our weird disco lights in the hallway of the
Yes.
kids' house, because
Yes.
the kids' house has some real interesting fucking lighting in the hallways,
Yeah.
and you can change it to disco.
I just like, again, I love anything that glows, and I love anything that you can like change the colors of. Our Christmas lights are like, we're the first people that ever bought like color changing Christmas lights.
Yeah, great.
And we've had them for years and years, and they're about ready to like give up. They're reaching the end of their life, and I'm so sad about it, because they're just the best. And that's gonna be a real moment of mourning and letting something go for me, because I feel like this might be the last year where they're viable, and they have meant a lot to me through the years, and I don't know that they can be duplicated. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Matt, bless him, is like always trying to do maintenance. He takes really good care of them. He changes the fuses in them and a lot. And they're just, they can only last so long,
We can all only last.
We
so
can
long.
all only last so
You know?
long. There's a lesson in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
you can't-
Sometimes the light goes out,
yeah. And that's fucking it.
and that's it. But you know what? Maybe the lights go somewhere else.
Maybe.
Or maybe not.
Into the garbage in this case,
Into the-
probably. But yeah.
Well,
But I've been appreciating them. It is fucking insanely rainy in Los Angeles.
I'm so confused about what's happening there. I've been in like the weirdest weather systems, and I'm coming to LA in like a couple days.
I know. Busy.
Well, am I coming to LA in a couple days? Like,
That's a good
what
question.
is happening?
It has been so consistently rainy that I think the day before yesterday, it stopped briefly very early in the morning and the sun came out, and I woke up my kids to look at the sun because that had been so long. It had been so long since anyone had seen the sun, and they were both like, thank you for doing that, instead of being like, are you fucking crazy, to me. So that's how I know how long it had been raining, because they were both glad to look at the sun for a minute. And then it just started pouring again. And it's just been pouring continuously. So like the LA River is full. It's like topping over.
I've seen some pretty intense vids.
Ellen is trapped, I guess.
Is she really?
I think so. I don't know.
Well, I mean, she can
saw
get
that
out. Let's
she
be
had like
real,
water rushing behind her house. Our old friend Dawn Olmsted, from who we used to work with on Busy Tonight, her whole backyard has like a little like trickle it has like, normally it's like a trickle of a creek, I think, and she has like a river rushing through her backyard, and like it's gonna pull down a bunch of trees or whatever. It's been a lot. And so a friend of mine from high school who lives in Topanga, her house had like 5 inches of water on the first floor.
I also read a thing that like kind of bummed me out, which is that they don't have like this, the state doesn't have like giant rain barrels set up. It just like goes out to the ocean.
Who even knows? It would seem wild not to.
I read it.
Yeah, but I mean,
so I mean that guy that wrote that thing knows.
I mean,
that they don't have it. They're not collecting the fucking water.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Weird.
It seems weird, but also like I don't know that. Why would they spend the money to put that system in place when this seems like a freak occurrence that doesn't happen?
Well, I will tell
often.
you that the last time I remember the rain being like that was the year I moved to Los Angeles.
I was here.
And that's right. You said you were.
Yeah.
But the rain started, I mean, it was like pretty consistent for like from like October on.
Yeah.
And it was intense.
Yeah.
But I also was thinking about it the other day because I was talking to Birdie about Harry and the Royals and Diana and all the stuff.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
It's a lot. And I remember my mom called me on my campus phone to tell me that Diana had been killed.
Right.
And like, I remember it so clearly. I had just gotten to college. I'd only been at school for like a week or whatever, like a couple weeks.
Right.
And yeah. And then the rain, El Nino, fucking insane.
Yeah. We were here to do the Rosie O'Donnell show, and we were here for a month. And I just remember that it was El Nino the whole time, pouring rain the whole time. We were kind of doing the show in like an outdoor arena, like an outdoor theater at one of the big theme parks.
It was Universal, right?
It was probably either Universal. It might have been Disneyland also. I can't remember specifically. I'm trying to remember if it was the year where the MGM monster, this Frankenstein, fucking harassed me every day. He didn't harass me.
MGM is not a thing. What are you talking about?
MGM Studios.
No, it's not. What are you talking about?
Where the monsters are? Not MGM.
Universal.
Sorry. Universal Studios. Yes.
It's only Universal.
It's only Universal.
It's
yes.
only
yes.
Universal and
got it.
Disneyland.
Yes.
But then there's also Knott's Berry Farm.
We never did it at
Knott's Scary
Farm. But Universal's the one where the monsters roam around.
Yes.
There was a year, I don't think this was the same. This might have been a Disneyland year. I don't know. But there was a year where we did it at Universal, and this, like, whoever dressed up as Frankenstein, like, aw.
You're my screensaver right now.
Aw, that's so nice. Bothered me.
Wait, you know what this day is? This is the day you ate the banana at the end. This is it, girl. This is the day.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
I have a picture of Caissie. I'll just screenshot it.
Yeah.
So that you guys can see it. I'll give it to Caissie to post because I probably won't remember to do it. Knowing me in this moment in time. What? Anyway, I just took the wrong screenshot. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, there was Universal Studios. The guy who was Frankenstein, he would just like take the elevator with me every day and just make Frankenstein noises. And I was like, dude, I can't stress to you how much I hate this, and please stop doing it. Like, I don't like it. And then, yeah, I just had words with Frankenstein at Universal Studios over that. But yeah, El Nino, but that's what this is like. This reminds me of El Nino. Trees falling down, things flooding. I think it's supposed to rain more. It's sunny right now for a second.
Do you want to go? Do you want to get off the phone and run outside? What do you want to do?
No, I'm happy. I'm happy that to be talking to you, but I'm also just sending love to everybody who's dealing with floody houses and leaky roofs. And
as far as I'm concerned, every house in Los Angeles floods, or I mean, it doesn't flood, but like has a leak.
Yeah,
and it's insane but also so many of the houses were built in the 20s and 30s and 40s, so it's like also makes sense, you know what I mean? And people replace the roofs, but it still is like you never know where the fucking leak is coming from. Anyway, there was this guy, both of the houses that I owned, the first house that I had and then the second house that we ended up like living in forever, had weird water leaks that like popped up out of nowhere. And like that's the other thing about the rain leaks too. Like, people will tell you in LA, like sometimes you're like, I've lived in this house for 4 years and never has a leak happened. And then all of a sudden, like water is like pouring through your like can light in the kitchen. And you're like, what is happening? So there was this guy that I found, and he was like called the rain leak investigator. And he like he would only do his job when it wasn't raining. And he would come over with like a big hose that he would like hook up to your water. And he had all of these tools, and he literally would like diagnose where the leak exactly, like pinpoint exactly where the leak was coming from. And when he would find it, it would be like you would get this whole like dissertation, like this whole printout of like, because the leak is in the front right can light, you may think that it's like the drain directly above. It is not. It is the southernmost drain on the seaside house of the blah blah blah. It's like he just would go into like insane detail, and I don't know how, but he was always right. He was always right.
Wow.
Because the problem is when you have leaks in your roof, when you live in California, it's like, what do you do?
Never know.
Rip off your roof?
Right. You know
what I mean? Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, redo your entire roof? What if that doesn't fix the problem?
Right.
And replacing, I don't need to tell anyone here listening. Well, maybe I do. Replacing a roof is expensive.
It's very expensive.
We don't want to do that if we don't have to.
I was looking on Twitter and I was looking at everyone's, flooded highways and their cars are floating away. Julia Sweeney posted like her whole street was flooded and her car, I think, floated off. But then Yvette Nicole Brown, who I love, posted like a video of her ceiling saying like, own a house, they said. It'll be fun, they said. And she just had like water pouring out of her ceiling. And then I made the mistake of saying to my husband, at least our roof isn't leaking. And he never speaks to me sharply. He always speaks to me kindly, but he was like, why would you say that? And
I'm going to echo it. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. And I do actually,
either.
But like, I think that, you've been in like a grief hole.
Yeah.
I think you lost yourself for a second. You didn't realize.
So knock on wood.
Right. Because the power of your words, especially Caissie.
Yeah. That was a stupid move. So when the rain comes back, I'll let you know what is happening with our roof. But like knock on wood, so far, we've been really lucky. But Matt has been going out into our alleyway the whole time, sweeping out the drains because
Oh, that's so important. Very important, guys.
Yes. And there was a time, like our floor, we have to redo the floors in this house because they're damaged from another time when the drains got plugged up and the water, before we lived here, the water came in through the windows because, like, it's amazing to live in a house that has floor to ceiling windows, except for when the floor is being overtopped by water.
Or when it's hot lava. That's hard too.
Hot lava would be bad. No matter. It could probably go through a wall, but I bet it gets through a window easier and you could see it happening.
Does that.
So anyway,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everybody that's going through that in LA. I guess I'll see you soon.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
I was in Sweden.
Yes, where it was snowing delightfully and gently.
Oh my God. Can I tell you something? It was, first of all, I made it look delightful and gentle.
But it wasn't?
It was like dumping snow.
Oh, God.
And I mean, it was really fun, for me, because, weather is, I don't really know her. Like,
you don't know her.
I'm a West Coast baby.
She's a new friend.
She's a new friend for me, especially snow. She's very new to me. But it was like, and it was like delightful and really, just really beautiful.
Yeah.
But there were several moments when I was well, first of all, I had to buy a fucking puffer coat.
Sure.
Because your girl looked at the weather and saw that it was going to snow and thought that my just regular coat would be fine. Just like a not puffer coat. It was so stupid.
Yeah.
It was very dumb of me.
Whatever.
So I did buy a puffer, but the good news is, post-Christmas sales. So that was
great.
And also, I gave away a puffer that I loved very much to Ileana, our old nanny, babysitter, who is family to us basically. But I gave it to her because when she was working for a family for a minute and ended up in New York in the winter, a couple years ago. I don't know when the fuck that was actually. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But whatever it was, and then they were going to go to London and it was very cold and she didn't have a good puffer. And so I just gave her my maroon one and not how I do that, how I give things away to people. And I didn't really consider that's actually the one I like the best.
Yeah.
But it was fine. And so whatever. So, and I've gotten other puffers. It's fine. Guys, everything's fine with me in the puffs. All I'm saying is that I was freezing, so cold. And I went into Ganni, which I love.
Okay.
Very, very Scandi. All of the fashion brands that I love are Scandinavian.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I know. I'm also drawn there, apparently.
You were headed in this direction. Yeah.
I think I am. Anyway, I went into Ganni and they had one on the sale rack, their super, super sale.
Yeah.
They had one maroon full length puffer. Then it was 70% off and I was in.
You were in.
And I felt very good about it. It was a great purchase.
Good. I'm glad. That makes me happy.
But I wandered around a lot by myself and I listened to music and I felt things and thought about things and then kind of didn't. Kind of just honestly just walked around. And then I would talk to people when I was in places.
Yeah.
And I went to some museums. I went to the Modern Museum by myself. The Modern Art Museum, and they had a Hilda A.F. Klimt exhibit, and the line to get in to see these paintings was 2.5 hours long. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, you know what? I don't need to see paintings that bad. I just don't. I'm sorry. I just really don't. And there was a Nan Golden exhibit.
Yeah.
Which was cool, but also, guys, Nan Golden is a photographer. If you don't she's cool.
Yeah.
Conceptual artist and photographer, but I don't know if it needed to be it was all video stuff, but a lot of it was just slides of her photos.
Right.
And the quality wasn't great. It wasn't a photo exhibit where it was they were all printed out or something.
Right.
I'm not trying to shit on the Nan Golden show, guys. All I'm saying is that this is just my experience. And then what else did I do? And then I met up with a friend, Jen, a new friend. I talk about her later in the show with Amelia,
which we already know.
Stay tuned. And then I had dinner with Lisa Ann Bjorn, the creator of our favorite television show, Young Royals.
Yes.
But she's like a friend of mine now, and I adore her. And so she and I had a meal, and then I met these guys that were staying in the hotel, and we're in a throuple now. No, I'm kidding. Your face. No, I met these guys that were staying in the hotel, and the one guy looked really familiar, and then it turns out that we have like 47 mutual friends. They live in Brooklyn, and like the one guy has like a quirky textile company.
Okay.
Called Steak Diane.
Nice.
It is actually, they're really cute and funny. I think you would like their stuff a lot. And then his boyfriend has like a company that makes like cute backgammon sets and stuff.
Oh, so cute. That's right up your alley.
Totally.
I was going to say, when you were talking about puffers, I almost got you a puffer for Christmas. Not your classic long maroon puffer, but I almost got you a puffer from this woman who I can't say we're friends, but I have gotten to know her a little bit on Instagram. Her name is Jordan Piantadosi, and she is also from Massachusetts, like me and Amelia. And I think her company is called Beautiful Genius, but she makes a puffer coat that's so cute. And I almost got it for you for Christmas, but then I got onto the Gina sweater idea and that project.
I mean, I really love the Gina sweater.
You can't beat the Gina sweater, but for a fun puffer, I think you'd like one of Jordan's. Speaking of quirky textiles, I'll send you a link to it. But
wait, tell me what it is. Oh, wait, and Fredericks and May is the company that makes the cute like cutting boards and backgammon sets and stuff.
Oh, cute. Okay.
Yeah, so they're like just two little adorable entrepreneurs.
Fredericks and May, Jordan Piantadosi. I think her company is called Beautiful Genius. So check her out on Instagram. But yeah, she makes a puffer coat that's really cute.
Because you and I spent the last, I don't see it.
I'll send it to you. I have a set of her pajamas and robes. I'll send it to you now. I
want to see it now.
But because you and I have spent
so long crying, I think we should just talk about the shit show of the United States government.
Oh my
God. Harry Styles. And also maybe art. I don't fucking know. Let's talk about stuff. I mean, let's talk about stuff that's not. Let's talk about stuff that's not
sadness.
Sad. Yeah. Because I actually just have no desire to talk about my sadness in this moment anymore. I talk a little bit about it when we talk to Amelia, but
yeah, I mean, we talked about it a normal amount.
We talked about it a normal amount,
I think, and and we'll probably have to talk about it again another time. But now's not the time. Now, maybe we can, talk about some fun stuff.
I would like to talk about some fun stuff. Well, here's the thing that I will say. Part of the trip, the unexpected trip to Sweden,
yes,
to Stockholm, was that I don't even know. Did I tell you this? That like none of Birdie's Christmas presents showed up?
Oh no, you didn't tell me that.
Oh my God, you guys. First of all, what is this like weird fucking hedgehog eating an apple that keeps popping up on my feed? Can we stop with it? I mean, because I can't with that nose. The nose is freaking me out.
That's my husband's dream Instagram content. So maybe you accidentally got his algorithm. Every time I look,
jewelry.
Every time I look over at my husband, he's like smiling serenely to himself, and I'm like, he's looking at a fucking hedgehog or a raccoon. I know it. And every time.
This isn't a hedgehog. This is like it keeps popping up. It's popped up so many times. I think it's a possum. Wait, no, it's not a possum. It's not a possum. It's a porcupine. It's a porcupine.
Oh, there you go.
It's a porcupine with a giant nose. Wait, you just sent me the girl's link? Strawberry Dream Puffer. Beautiful genius. Oh my God, I love it. God damn it, Caissie.
It's so cute.
Well,
all her stuff is so cute. But that's like a fun, maybe like going into spring
I
puffer.
love it.
It's sold out currently on a beautifulgenius.com. But anyway, but she has a lot of cute stuff. She's like an artiste who makes the art for the textiles.
I love it. Oh my God, Foria. That's the ad, guys. That's the ad. I mean, listen. We've told you
a million times.
You know
how we feel about Foria.
You know what Foria is too. Foria are amazing products designed to help people with vulvas experience pleasure fully, or partners of people with vulvas.
Yeah.
Listen, or just you. If you have a vulva,
on your own,
better orgasms, natural enhancement, plant-based ingredients, intensify its sexual pleasure. Sometimes also, as you get older, I've heard, it's dry. It gets dry. Yeah. It's hard or painful. Some people are like, postmenopause, I have painful sex. I'm like, I'm not there yet, but good to know. I don't even need to worry about it because I have Foria.
Yeah. We recommend the Awaken Arousal Oil and Sex Oil. It's a
1-2 punch to your clit. Can we just say that? Is that it?
That's Busy's catchphrase that she's, floating and
I'm trying to make it happen for you. I'm waiting for a call.
We'll see how
for
Foria
a possible partnership in terms of a little bit of stock options. I'm kidding. Guys, we love it so much. We really do.
You don't have to just take our word for it. You can also go online and read their testimonials. They're very entertaining. They're even maybe a little racy if you want that to play into your whole Foria sesh. I don't know. I don't know your life. But yeah, Sex Oil, Awaken Arousal Oil are like the two products that we highly recommend. We both use them. There's other products that you also will enjoy, but Awaken uses CBD and warming sensation-inducing organic botanicals that enhance arousal, sensitivity, pleasure, access to orgasm, and help with any discomfort. Best of all, Awaken just turns you on. So give them a try.
Guys, you have nothing to lose except for better sex.
And that's not a loss. That's a gain.
That's not a loss. So you have our permission to try it. We fully endorse you to go ahead, treat yourself to deeper, fuller pleasure wherever you can find it as often as possible. You can start with a bottle of Foria. Foria is offering a special deal for our listeners. Guys, get into it. Get 20% off your first order by visiting ForiaWellness.com/best or use code BEST at checkout. That's Foria, Foria, wellness.com/best. You're going to get 20% off your first order. Caissie and I recommend their Awaken Arousal Oil and the Sex Oil. You're going to thank us. I'm like obsessed with Thrive Cosmetics. I love this mascara. I'm obsessed.
Yeah, the mascara.
Yes,
the mascara is so good. I'm going to be honest. A lot of tears lately. Mascara is holding up. And plus I have like an oily face that requires the type of mascara that Thrive makes, that tubing mascara. The brush is great. The lashes look great.
I love it.
Love it.
It's my favorite. The other thing is no parabens, sulfates, or phthalates. It's certified 100% vegan. It's cruelty free. I recently have come to a place, guys, in my life. I used to not be in this place, and now I'm in this place where I'm like, you know what? I want to make sure that the stuff that I'm putting on my skin and in like my eye sockets is free of bad stuff and like vegan and like isn't harmful and is cruelty free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just am like, full disclosure, in the past, it wasn't now it is. Now I'm like, oh, I really want that. And I love it's called Thrive Cosmetics, and they spell cause instead of how you spell cosmetics. They spell it Cause, because the name is purposeful. Every purchase supports organizations that help communities thrive. So like you're doing two things at once. You're like, I need to look pretty.
Yeah. You're going to spend the money.
You're
anyway.
going to spend, you know what I mean? And you're like, the Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara is so effing good and works so well.
The Brilliant Eye Brightener, also really good for your eyes. It's so easy to use. It's foolproof. I also use it like as a highlighter if I just throw one thing into my bag.
Yes.
And I love the hydrating lip tint as well. I keep a little one in my bedside, even though you don't need tinted lips when you go to sleep. But my lips get really dry during the night. Not with that hydrating lip tint.
Get into it. I also just like love the hydrating lip tint because I don't wear like a lot of makeup regularly.
Right.
And the two things, I swear to you, the two things that I'm like obsessed with, Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara.
Yeah.
And hydrating lip tint. That's all I need for
enough.
the day. I'm good. And like I said, for every product purchased, Thrive Cosmetics donates to help communities thrive. They have over 300 giving partners across the country, supporting numerous causes, things that you and I care about, things that are important to me, helping women, like helping the most vulnerable communities. And I really cannot tell you how much I really love the mission. Anyway, now is the time for you to try Thrive Cosmetics for yourself. Right now, you can get 15% off your first order when you visit thrivecosmetics.com/best. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/best for 15% off your first order. Get the mascara at least. Get the mascara and the lip tint and maybe the Brilliant Eye Brightener. You'll really be happy. You will be happy.
Here's what I've been paying attention to. Yes. Kevin McCarthy getting elected Speaker of the House. It took him how many tries? 14 tries.
I mean, I was in Sweden, so you know.
Yeah, so you missed the whole exercise.
I was like, hey, talk. hey, talk. And then I would be like, hey, when I entered a store, like kind of like low under, like, hey. And everybody speaks Swedish to me because they like literally look at me and think I'm Swedish, which is, I do love. Yeah. But then as soon as they do, then I'm like, oh, no, actually.
I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to tell you that all the sales stuff is over there. And
right. And they speak
Let
English
me know if
perfectly.
you need any. Yeah, no, literally. They're like, let me know if you need any help. I'm like, okay, talk.
Oh,
they're like,
my
you
God.
really don't need to say talk. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Okay, so continue.
Yeah, I mean, just, it's such old news at this point, but it's...
Kevin McCarthy's fucking fall from what? What? Nothing.
Who knows? Yeah, he was never in a state of grace to begin with.
No, he wasn't.
It just was like, I mean, who knows what's going to happen? And like, I've learned to be, I think, to have a healthy amount of paranoia for whatever Republicans are doing. And whatever,
100%.
So
the whole thing was it seemed so, performative.
Yes, yeah.
Matt Gaetz is like literally the worst actor of all time, but he really is acting it up.
Yes. So,
and also that fucking weirdo George Santos sitting with what's her name?
George Santos. I'd be surprised if that's his actual name. He's lied about every detail of his background.
Oh, he's for sure not. There's no Santos in that guy's heritage.
Who even knows? But like, he's just a nightmare. And I'm like, I guess we just have him. We just have to, let him be there. And even though he lied, he got elected on the basis of lies. I mean, I guess.
But like, I don't think Republicans give a fuck.
No,
I gotta be honest.
They don't care at all.
That's the truth. I mean, look at like how far whatever his fucking face went in Atlanta, in Georgia. What's his name?
Oh, Herschel Walker.
Like
Yeah.
a literal fucking joke. And like
Yeah.
Republicans were like, shrug emoji,
Yeah.
casting my vote for him.
So anyway, so there was all that. I feel like that's such old news at this point, but like also something that we shouldn't stop paying attention to. People talking about excerpts of Prince Harry's book coming out.
Well, that has been truly wild. That's been, I have to say, wild.
It's it's interesting. I saw someone, I guess a journalist on Twitter, was like, hey, I've been assigned a story where I'm supposed to see if people's feelings have changed, if Americans' feelings have changed toward Harry and Meghan based on what they're hearing about his book. And people were like, well, I haven't fucking read the book yet. Like, you know, so I wouldn't comment until, but anyway, we know that Harry had a frostbitten penis apparently at William
When
and
he went
Kate's
to that,
wedding.
when he went to, because he went to Antarctica.
Yeah, I guess.
Sure.
What else did we hear? I guess that Camilla is the biggest leaker.
That she is?
I think
That's what he says?
I think so. That, yeah, she has the best relationship with the British press.
Sure, of course.
What were you going to say?
That makes sense. That tracks with what I know from The Crown.
Yeah. Oh, that Meghan was paying for everything.
Herself, like paying for all her shit herself.
Like with her credit cards, because they told him they had no money for Meghan. And so she like paid for the repairs on Frogmore Cottage and all the furniture there, and was wearing secondhand clothes. And I mean,
all right, secondhand clothes. Let's everybody calm the fuck down.
I mean,
okay, let's just everybody.
Secondhand couture is.
Come on, we're gonna take a beat because I too shop on Net-a-Porter.
Yeah.
And look for a deal. But like, what the, come on, please.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
That, I should have edited the fucking book. I'm not kidding. I should have. They should have fucking called me. I would have killed it. I would have been like, Harry, this isn't going to play well.
This doesn't pass.
We're going to pull this. We're going to pull this piece out. And we leave this stuff in about William.
Oh, yeah, that William physically attacked him.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me either.
I mean,
does it?
They're brothers.
Yeah, of course.
I'm sure my sons tackle each other once in a while, too.
I mean,
I don't know
listen,
about it.
What was the thing with Courtney Cox, though? I didn't read that.
Oh,
that he was on mushrooms at her house?
Courtney Cox's house?
Honey, haven't we all? No, I'm kidding. I actually haven't. But I have been real drunk there.
That seems perfect. That seems great.
It's like exactly the place you're supposed to take mushrooms.
Yeah.
Also, why was he there? And
maybe
when was
one of her,
this?
doesn't she have like the Sunday suppers? Maybe it was one of
Yeah, no, 100%. And because of her like longtime boyfriend, who's an Irish musician who was in a very famous like British pop band for a long time.
So maybe that.
There would be a lot of Brits that would show up. Like I was never there for the Ed Sheeran nights, but I do know that Ed Sheeran was there. I do know that Harry Styles back in the day was there.
Wow.
Now, you guys have to remember a thing, and I want to just reiterate this to you. I did the pilot of Cougar Town when I was 29 years old. I was not even 30 years old. I had just had a baby. She was 6 months old. I remember Krista and Courtney talking about taking their daughters to see One Direction, and I was like, huh? What are you talking about? I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? Like, I was just in a different, I'm like definitely 10 years younger than Courtney, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm probably, I'm a little bit younger than that from Krista. And they were just like they had different
They were
interests.
in a different point in their
with their children and like whatever, and so
sure
she
they weren't wanting to go see One Direction, or maybe they were. Who knows? They were.
I mean, Caissie, ask me if I'd like to go see One Direction. Just go ahead.
Would you like to go see One Direction?
Yes.
Now,
right now.
Oh my gosh! Well, that's how that they have broad appeal. That's the whole point of One Direction,
Honey,
is that everyone loves them.
They're adorbs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got into like, wait, oh my God. Okay. I had a few really funny like moments in Sweden of talking to strangers. Like
yeah.
somebody online was like, please tell us how to make friends as an adult. And I just want to say, like, very earnestly, if you just talk to everyone, you will make friends as an adult with people.
Yeah.
But it requires a level of like pushing past comfort.
Yeah.
For most people, including myself, by the way. If you read my book, you fucking know. But I do it in part because I'm just trying to find the love that I don't have for myself.
Right.
And in part because that's just the way I've always been, the way my mom is, the way that my kids are, like, well, the way the birdie is, not actually Cricket. I will just fucking talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And so when you do that, when you put yourself, if you're a person that's like, I really need more friends, I really would like more friends, here are my two biggest pieces of advice. Find something you're interested in locally and sign up for a fucking class.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
2, something you're interested in that maybe you don't know anything, but like you like, I would love to know how to like take a photography class.
Yeah. Emily Beebe just took a mixology class.
I mean, I'm learning things every day about her.
Which I think is so cool. Yeah.
It is cool. It's very cute. And in Emily's made a couple new friends this year as an adult. And like, it really takes, what it takes is you pushing past your own comfort zone and putting yourself out there in a way that's like real. Like you have to just engage in the world. You have to take your headphones fucking out of your ears and you have to stop looking at your phone and you have to like engage with people. You have to listen to what other people are saying to waiters and interject if you have a piece of information that could be useful. You have to, like there's all kinds of ways that you can start conversations with people, especially like when you're traveling or, when you're in a new city that you just moved to or whatever. So, I mean, literally, you guys, my new best friend Jen here in New York and I met at the Apple store. Okay?
Right.
Like, I literally was like chatting. She was chatting because we both are chatters. And I was like, we have to be friends. Like, this is, so, we Instagrammed each other first and then we became friends.
You made it happen.
I'll
say for my part, because I also saw somebody asking like, how do you make adult friends? And I want to say, first of all, I'm so proud of you because I don't know if this is in any way related, but there's been a real wave on the Busy Phillips is Doing Her Best Facebook group of people introducing themselves and saying, here's where I live. Here are my interests. Is there anyone else here who has stuff in common with me? Can we be friends? Which I'm so proud of you.
I'm proud of you guys too. I love that.
I'm so proud of everyone responding.
We don't have to be alone and we don't have to be isolated and we don't have to be stuck.
Right.
You don't have to be stuck in the relationships that don't service you. You just don't.
Right. And then the other thing I would say, and I know it sounds so obvious and I'm like the queen of like obvious revelations.
No,
I was never taught when I was a kid to ask anyone how they were. I just wasn't. Nobody ever asked me how I was. Nobody ever said, how was your day? And nobody ever said like, how are you doing? Unless it seemed like I had a problem, like a real.
Are you about to cry? Because I'm about to cry. I am. I actually am.
It just
that breaks my heart. I like think about you and it breaks my fucking heart, Caissie.
It just is kind of how it was, unless you were like bleeding or having like a crisis, nobody really said like, what's going on with you, or like, how was that? Like nobody ever really had like just those normal kind of conversations. And I don't think I was alone. I don't think like,
well, it's very common of Gen X, to be honest.
Yes.
Like we're very much known as like the generation that are the people around us responsible for us. We're like, she's fine.
Yeah, like just spread very thin, and like
She'll be fine.
She'll be fine. She's got to take care of herself. And Amelia and I talk about this later too. I think that like there is this very New England, Massachusetts thing maybe that was even like, I don't know. Maybe I think it's this way because it's like where I lived, but I think there's something about the ethos of Massachusetts that's even more like, what am I going to ask someone how they're like, get over yourself, like, what do you want to tell me, like how your day was?
Yeah,
like,
people in Massachusetts are assholes. They're literally called massholes. And the summer I spent in Boston, I have never in my life before or since almost gotten into multiple fisticuffs with people all kinds of places.
It just brings
people
it
are
out
just
of you.
fucking dicks.
It just brings it out of you. But so anyway,
I have
there's
no idea
also
why.
so many lovely people in Massachusetts, and I would consider myself like, I think that I'm pretty lovely. I grew up there, but I just was never taught to like ask how anyone was doing or follow up with anyone. So when I talk about like, I never really knew how to have a friend until, and I always give her credit and she's always like, no. But like my friend Ashley Nicole Black was like my example of like, sometimes you just check in with a person and you ask like, oh, how'd that doctor's appointment go that you were going to or whatever. And like, I'm still not the best at remembering things like that.
I feel like she's a Cancer too.
I think she's a Gemini. She's a Gemini because I have we're triple Gemini group chat, and so yeah. But anyway,
The one you kicked me out of because I'm not a Gemini.
no, you were never in that one. It's a different one. It's like a little New York, former New York comedy girls one. But
Who's
anyway,
the third person?
Kristen Bartlett, who I don't think you've ever had
not Chelsea.
You've never had the pleasure of meeting Kristen Bartlett, but you should meet her. She's amazing. She's also a TV writer. You'd love her. But we're all longtime friends. But anyway, Ashley's the one that really taught me about like just like checking in with someone about like not about career stuff or whatever, just like, oh hey, you said you were gonna get those pants. Did they come in? How do they fit? Do you like them? Just like normal shit. And I truly didn't know how to do that. And I maybe even felt like I see other people doing that, but I would feel like intrusive and like it's not my place to ask somebody something like that. Really weird. We talked about last week, like all these really weird little rules that I have for myself. But anyway, I'm still not the best at remembering it. But I recently met someone at a party and I was like, oh, I could easily be friends with these folks. They're so nice. They told me that they were leaving on a certain date to go to Hawaii. And I was like, I'll never remember this. But when she asked for my number so we could text each other, I wrote down in my calendar, this is when she's leaving for Hawaii. And I sent a text saying, have a safe trip to Hawaii. And like, she was like, oh my God, I'm so touched that you remembered that we were going to Hawaii. Like, well, so yes, I'm like, sometimes I have to behave like a weird little robot that is observing the way humans interact, but it works, it works.
This is what's so fucking fascinating is that, and what I'm realizing the longer I'm alive and also the longer I'm like paying attention, which is maybe recent, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Is that everyone is neurodivergent. Everyone. Truly. And everyone's brains work differently. And the truth is you never fucking know what someone else is thinking or doing.
Right.
Or why.
Right.
And so all you can do we're just weird little aliens, Caissie, is to your point. And like, that's fucking awesome that you were like, oh, right, that would be a nice thing to do. Somebody had done that to me one time and it felt really nice. Right. So you remembered, you wrote it down, which is like, that's what works for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that there's real value in everything that you've just said. And just asking people how they are, what's going on, and then really listening is huge. And I was feeling a little lonely in Sweden. And Birdie and I had actually a really nice time. We only got into one fight.
Oh, that's great.
One.
Yeah.
Caissie, just one.
That's amazing.
It felt amazing.
I bet.
I'm not kidding. It felt like I almost was like you with the leaky roof. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
you
I almost was like,
called it out.
I did it. Like I parented. I'm done now. She's
my
good.
gosh.
But like, we really had a nice fucking time.
Good.
And I was very easy on her in terms of like, this was a present I gave to her to take her to Sweden. And I was like, the hotel's gorgeous. And I'm like, whatever you want to do. If you want to stay in this fucking hotel all day long and leave the place once a day,
great.
Enjoy your fucking life. Right. I'm going to this museum today. I'm going to this museum tomorrow. Like I'm planning this, I'm planning that. Yeah. And she joined me. We went to the Vasa Museum, which was so cool. We saw like the big ship or whatever. I'm getting off the track of the point of like making friends with those guys. Yeah. But the point was that you have to really like talk to people. Oh, and then Harry Styles, bringing it back, guys. I'm bringing it back. We're going to get back to Harry and Meghan. I was sitting at dinner by myself in the hotel one night. And the hotel's just like it literally is like, it's my favorite hotel in the entire world. I'll just tell you the name of it. Who fucking cares? Should I tell them? Yeah. Why? Yeah. Who cares? It's called Et Hem, which means at home in Swedish. Et Hem. Oh my God. And guess what I made Birdie do?
What?
I made her get us taxis and talk to the taxi driver in Swedish.
Oh, nice. I
know. And like get us home.
Oh,
and I was
good.
like, I don't speak Swedish, so you have to do it. Because you can take like, I took train. When I would go out during the day, I would like take transit, walk, sure. Mostly walk. But like I would take the transit or once I called an Uber, but just because it was like dumping snow and I was like very cold. But so anyway, I was sitting at dinner at the hotel, enjoying my little dinner, my fucking full bottle of wine that I drank by myself. And then I was like, oh God, they're going to think I'm an alcoholic. And I was like stressed about it. And there was this cute couple next to me and they were having dinner to celebrate his birthday, his 33rd birthday. And they recognized me from, and you're never going to guess it.
They recognized you from an Old Navy commercial?
I mean, almost so close. From the one episode of The New Girl that I did.
Oh!
And you know there's a Swedish theory that's like Massachusetts, like where you think you're too good for? There's a Swedish like ideology that's like along the same lines of like, don't think you're too good for
right
anything. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, it's not lagom because we know what that is.
Yeah.
But so the girl, they had just enough drinks to like say something to me.
Yeah.
Which is very un-Swedish to like to ask, like to start a conversation.
Right.
And they were super cute. And the guy was like, we were talking about something and I can't remember what happened. I can't remember why it got brought up or like why he brought it up. But he said something about Harry Styles as an actor and like how lame that must be for actors who like then have to see Harry Styles come along and like get parts.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a really interesting perspective. I like very respectfully disagree because I think that he's like a kid that's been working since he was a teenager. And I think he's a pretty good actor. And like, I don't know, like you're in a creative field. You get to like jump around. By the way, this ties into our interview with Amelia later. And I think like I would doubt that there are many working actors that are like annoyed that Harry Styles is getting the parts that he's getting and that he's working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel like, whatever. And he was like, the way that I was just like really listening to what he was saying. And I was like, what is it that you're not doing in your life? Like, what is it that you're not pursuing? Because like, that's all I can think of is that you're annoyed that Harry Styles is getting these parts. Right. You know, are you an actor? Like, do you want to be an actor? And he's like, I don't. And I was like, okay. And he's like, I mean, I do music. And then like this whole other side comes out and like he was like talking about the music and his girlfriend's like, he's really good. But they like both work in like, I don't even fucking know, Swedish job, finance, something, literally like something.
So many people in Sweden do finance.
Yes. And I was like, you know what I think you need to do? Like, I think you need to, instead of like focusing that outward of like, ugh, look at these people, like so annoying that they're getting whatever. I'm like, work on your fucking music this year. Why don't you make it this is your year? It was his Jesus year, 33?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Whatever it was, I was like, it's your Jesus year. And they're like, what is that? And I was like, it's your Jesus year. And then I was like, did I make that up? And then I had to look it up. And whatever it was, I was right.
Okay.
But anyway, it's just fucking, people are interesting. People are fascinating. And but like also, what was interesting was to like talk to this guy. And once I was like just interested in his creative thing but like, wait, what is it? Like, what are you not doing? Like, whatever. I think he realized like, oh, I'm misplacing my feelings about Harry Styles when it's really about like, I want to do music. And like, I want to be out there doing something creative and like, I'm not.
Yeah.
You know?
I get it because he probably was like, I would like to do the one thing that Harry Styles is already massively successful at. And he's so blasé about it. Now he can like go and act in these movies when I would like give my right arm to just do the one thing, which I will say, like, I can understand that feeling. I also sort of feel like Kenny Rogers, like when he had the Kenny Rogers roasters, I was like, no, just be Kenny Rogers. I was mad that he had a chicken restaurant. And it wasn't because I wanted to be a performer or have a chicken restaurant. I just was like, just let someone else open a chicken restaurant, you know? Like I just felt like that.
I mean, I also get that because you and I, we've had this conversation too, where I'm like, sometimes when like, this is part of the reason why a lot of people my new managers have brought this up. You've been a part of the conversations where people are like, wait, but why are you just like working for other brands and not like, why don't you like cultivate your own shit or whatever?
Right,
and I'm like, because nothing bums me out more than like an actress who has like a line of toasters, you know? And I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that toast was such a central part of her fucking life. You know what I mean?
Right. It's really interesting because like it makes so much sense for Chrissy Teigen, who's not an actor. She's a model. But like, you know that the blood in her veins is really about modeling and toast. You know what I mean? Like she loves food. She's always loved food. It's, you know, she and Padma Lakshmi, like if Padma Lakshmi made
a fucking toaster,
an air fryer,
but by the way,
I'd buy it.
There are other people in the public domain who also have fucking air fryers and toasters and like and like lend their names to like cheap shit that's like manufactured in gross ways, and like that's not for her. It's just not like I, as much as I love my expensive life that I can't afford, I weirdly return, oh my God, to my fucking dumb values. And that's why you're not going to get a toaster this year, guys. Sorry.
No Busy Phillips toaster.
I just like, I mean, I don't know. I think that if you're a person who's longing for connection with others, as we all fucking are, you carve out the spaces. And sometimes you're going to get shot down in ways that are like harsh and embarrassing and like make you cringe. And then, by the way, you will not remember those times. Like
you won't remember, and it'll give you
minutes later
something to talk about with
the next person.
the next person. And it's just
That's
like,
so true.
it's the same as like, this was always my advice for people that were interested in getting into like TV writing or any kind of writing. I was like, I like to have so many irons in the fire that when people come back to me with a no, I don't even remember having asked for anything. So I have had a million times where somebody's like sends me an email and they're like, hey, listen, there was a really tough decision, but we decided to go in another direction. And I'm like, I don't even fucking remember who you are. I don't remember asking. You know what I mean? And it hurts so much less when it's like that. But also, and I'm not saying spread yourself so thin and like make a million bazillion friends, because I also think there's something to be said for having like your close circle. And that's, we always talk about the group chats and how they play an integral part. And but like it's fucking free to be friendly to everyone. That's how you get your circle.
It's free to be friendly, and it's free to be actually interested.
Yeah.
And you know what else is free? Vulnerability.
Yeah.
It's free that like when those guys in Brooklyn, like from Brooklyn in Stockholm that I met, and we very quickly realized like we had mutual friends or whatever. And they were like, what are you like, what's up? And I was like, honestly, I'm kind of on my own here. Like, if you guys are free, I would love to eat dinner later.
Yeah.
Like, that's almost cringy and embarrassing. Like, they could have been like, no, we have plans. They could have said they had plans. They might have had, they didn't have plans.
Yeah. Well,
but like, you know what I mean? Like, I just was like, very like, you guys seem nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, and we have friends, like we have friends in common. You guys seem great. And like, I'd love to eat dinner if you guys are up for it,
Yeah. Like the worst they could say is, oh, shoot, we wish we could.
Yeah.
But we can't.
We wish we could. We have plans with our friends. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. No worries. Maybe we can have a drink later when you guys get back.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it was my first night there. It was so fucking jet lagged that like almost at the end of the dinner, I like truly think I like blacked out like of
oh my gosh.
sleep exhaustion.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hit the wall so hard, and I was
Yeah.
like, I have to go now. And it was so great to meet you. Like, I was like, I could not see straight. I was beside myself. Well, Amelia, our guest today.
Yes.
Should we throw to Amelia?
Yeah, let's talk to her.
Amelia, our guest today, who we've already talked to. You guys know that because you've been paying attention. Is one such person that like really both of us kind of like put ourselves out on a limb. She's one half of one of my favorite bands, Sylvan Esso. And I saw her perform at Coachella many, many, many years ago. And I remember feeling like I loved the music before I saw them perform. And then when I saw her on stage, I was like, this is a person that is like putting it fucking out there and like just embracing the joy of what she gets to do. I highly recommend. They're going on tour for their new album, No Rules Sandy. I highly recommend if you can like go with a friend, maybe you meet a friend online, I don't know, and you go dance your fucking ass off. Constance Zimmer and I, Constance and I posted that video early today.
Of
Cricket
Birdie.
and Coke.
Oh,
Cricket. Oh my
Cricket.
God. No, it was
Oh my
Birdie.
God.
It was Birdie. It was Birdie. You're
Okay.
right.
Birdie
and Coco, who's Constance's daughter, who just turned 15, when they were 4 and 5, respectively, doing a scene from As You Like It at their preschool, their Montessori preschool that like did Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And I like Constance and I have known each other for a million years. We literally met in audition rooms.
Yeah.
For parts that one of us didn't get, and
right.
sometimes both of us didn't get.
Right.
And had daughters roughly the same age and ended up at the same preschool, and were really close for a period of time, but then like life and distance, and she was working in Vancouver forever and blah 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 whatever. And when we hadn't hung out, just the two of us, for so fucking long. And she was in New Jersey working in this past fall, and reached out to me and was like, hey, I'm here. I would really love to see you. And I'm like, my friend Amelia, who I met online, basically, and then became friends in real life, is playing at Forest Hills Stadium. Should we go and dance? And she was like, that sounds perfect. And we took the train there, and we went and we danced our fucking asses off, and we had the best night. It was truly so fun. So let's talk to Amelia.
You know what that sound means?
Cha-cha-ching. It means another sale with Shopify.
It's your sign to this year finally forget about those run-of-the-mill resolutions and start your own New Year's resolution. You should start selling whatever you have to sell on Shopify.
Guys, here's the deal. You know who uses Shopify to sell their stuff?
We do.
You know who? You know who? You know who? It's us. Guys, did you guess? Because it's us. It's time, though. Like, I don't know whether you want to sell like cute t-shirts. Oh my God. Christine, BFF from Arizona, and I had dinner and weirdly didn't take a picture together, but she told me about the most amazing like business selling things that she has like come up with and designed.
Oh, nice.
And I directed her directly to Shopify because it's like a very easy to navigate commerce platform. It's packed with industry leading tools that will help you ignite your growth, and it gives you complete control over your business and your brand without having to like learn any new skills in design or coding. And thanks to 24/7 help and an extensive business course library, Shopify is there to support your success every step of the way.
If we can do it, you definitely can do it.
Whether it's starting a podcast or selling something on Shopify. Like, guys,
Exactly.
all we're saying is that we're no experts and we've figured this out. Okay.
Yeah.
And it works for us and like really well.
Yeah.
So it's all possibility. Like right now, I love this moment in the year because we are just living in pure possibility. That's it.
Yeah.
So it's powered by Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/herbest, all lowercase. I'm actually literally texting Christine this as I'm saying it so that she can use the code immediately and do it. Go to shopify.com/herbest to take your business to the next level today. Shopify.com/herbest. Athletic Greens.
I think it was good.
I do love it.
Yeah. I love AG1. It is so easy. Well, let's say what AG1 is.
That's a great point. It's a great point. It's like how I introduce guests. Not at all. Guys, AG1 is the answer to all of those vitamins and minerals and things that you're trying to take all together that add up and also make you gag because you're like, I literally can't take one more pill. AG1 is one scoop of like a delicious tasting blend of like probiotics, adaptogens, whole food sourced superfoods, vitamins, and minerals, over 75 high quality
75
vitamins.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah. And you mix it right up, or you can mix it in a smoothie. It tastes great.
It's such an easy habit to build going into the new year. Maybe you had some, resolutions or whatever you want to.
Whatever. You want better health this year. So
Right.
do I.
Who
That's what
doesn't?
I want. I want that too. And Athletic Greens uses the best of the best products based on the latest science. There's constant product iterations and third-party testing. It costs you less than $3 a day. It fits into whatever eating lifestyle you're currently vibing on. And no GMOs and no nasty chemicals or artificial anything, which is great. And it tastes kind of literally amazing.
And also it's really easy, which I just love because I'm lazy. I'm not going to open 75 bottles of anything.
I mean, I tried it once.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
It didn't last.
They always say the best habit is the one that you can stick with. And this is one that's so easy for me to stick with.
I love that. It's same. It's a very big, hard same for me. Anyway, right now, guys, I want it to be a same for you. It's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into continuing on the journey of the germs that are flying around. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it very easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and sorry, I got so excited. 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/busy. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/busy to take ownership over your health and to pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. We love you, Athletic Greens. Okay. Let's talk to Amelia. She's here. This is so exciting.
Hi.
Hi. Ooh, we can hear you.
Let's introduce Amelia so that we have editing
No, we're not going. No, absolutely not. There's no introduction necessary.
Amelia, I'm Caissie. It's nice to meet you. Busy hates to introduce our guest, and then we have to get like very creative with how we let people know who this other person is that just joined us.
Okay, guys. For years, I have loved. Oh God, which Coachella was it that I saw you at the very first time when you played like at 2 p.m. In a tent?
Oh yeah,
on the and you killed it so fucking hard.
You're so nice to me.
And I didn't even know. I mean, I didn't even know that we had mutual connections. And I was like obsessed with you and your band, Sylvan Esso, guys. The band Sylvan Esso. But what Coachella was that? It was a very long time ago.
I think it must have been 2015, 2000.
Yeah, maybe
16, maybe. I feel like
I think it was earlier. I think 14. It was before Trump.
Oh my God.
Pre-Trump. I still had like a lot of hope in my in my body. Like I can feel it.
Yeah. You know? Gosh, isn't it weird feeling into the layers of hope that we've lost? Ooh, what a dark way to begin.
It's so
Welcome
dark.
to this podcast.
I feel like, you know how they always they make it a point to show how much presidents aged. Oh, I feel like we all aged. I feel like we all took the aging on.
I've aged so hard in the last 3 years now since the pandemic. Like it's wild. But then also brutal. I guess you could argue that I've gone from 40 to 43. So
yeah, we've
maybe
also
that just
aged.
I've also actually just aged.
Not to be a super downer, Amelia, but my mom just passed away a couple weeks ago. And I feel like in those days, I feel like my face is a different face. It's so weird. And I'm like, that seems like insult to injury. You know?
Grief ages you.
Oh, yeah. I think on a cellular level.
That's just
right?
rude.
Yeah.
That's
I think
rude.
So. I think
it's
rude
wrong and
Grief
messed
should
up.
tighten everything up. Just for a little, for a little bit.
It should be like a cold plunge because it feels like that.
Oh.
Your skin should just be like ping when you're in the midst of true grief.
Ugh,
yes.
But I'm like, what is I've never had an eye bag in my life, and now I have 2 every morning just for the past couple weeks, and I'm like, that's fucking rude.
I don't know. Your skin looks pretty good right now.
Yeah, you look great to me.
Thank you. That's very nice. Thank you. But yeah, I'm not here for any of the things that are aging us. I want to age because of life,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. I want to be one of those ladies that's like, these are my laugh lines.
Oh my God.
This is just from me enjoying my life and living it and laughing and loving.
God,
and instead
yes,
I'm like,
please.
there was a pandemic and I'm getting divorced and I moved across country where I don't know anyone, and I didn't get to say goodbye to the house that I loved and built for 14 years. And also, yeah.
I wish you guys could see Amelia right now because we always
She's
talk
so
about
beautiful.
like the light.
I'm gonna take a
beams
picture.
coming. Yeah, but you also have like what kind of flowers are those? Poppies?
I put these in frame for you because I'm a fan of the pod. Which also, well, partially because I've been like a true creep and asked twice to be on the podcast because I'm a thirsty bitch. These are my favorite Icelandic poppies.
They're beautiful.
They're beautiful.
They're like grown and taken care of and made to live for a long time by an incredible farm in North Carolina where I live. Each stem is hand seared so that they last for like a week and a half.
Wow.
And each of the petals are lovingly hand peeled like by this incredible farmer.
Wow.
And me, it's like the farmer's market in Durham, North Carolina starts with a bell at 10. And it's like me and like a bunch of like octogenarian ladies who like look like future me's. And we all literally throw elbows to get to the poppies. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're so gorgeous. And God love that farmer.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine being that focused on and dedicated? I mean, that's enlightenment, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Amelia, you are one half. You are one half of the band Sylvan Esso. Was that a good introduction?
Yes,
That was
perfect.
great
It was great.
introduction.
Jesus Christ.
That's
Anyway,
just how
but
easy it
do
is.
do you? But I don't know if you're a person like. His thing is poppies. Is like the care and love of the poppies. Like, do you feel that way about your music, Amelia?
Oh my gosh. You mean like that
Are your songs your poppies?
Oh boy. I do feel like I'm a steward to my own creative process.
Ooh.
If that's in that like at the moment, in my preparation for coming on the podcast, I saw that of course we are constantly returning to the theme of this show, which is pivoting.
Yes.
And I was thinking about how when you're a creative person that is like, you know, both of you are like excellent writers. When you have to like be constantly creating the environment that is going to create the spark.
Yeah.
So I think of myself like I feel like creating the spark is my poppies. Do you know what I mean?
That's really interesting.
It's fantastic. It's literally exactly what I needed to hear in this moment.
Yeah. Just
Thank
creating
you.
an environment.
Creating the environment to like bring the spark. Because I was just in Sweden last week, which was incredible. We haven't even talked about it yet on the podcast.
Oh my God,
'cause
fun.
we're
I
talking
want to
to
hear
you
about
first.
everything you ate.
I ate such good stuff, but then also Birdie was very jet lagged and wanted to stay in our beautiful, beautiful hotel. And they had such good food and they would just like cook anything that you wanted for you. So like it's the best hotel in the world. Do you guys, have you done a European tour for this album?
We haven't yet. We announced the European dates like a week ago, but we just announced the whole tour today. I'm really excited about. Thank you. Thanks.
If you want to go check out Sylvan Esso on tour,
It's literally the greatest time you'll have. It's the most fun dancing, best time ever.
and you can just go to sylvanesso.com, right, to find the dates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
See, so simple. You kept it so simple. You're so smart.
we try. I try. Also, if we don't do it simply, everyone on the internet screams at us, which I always
Yes.
forget. I always
Yes.
forget that like whenever you announce tour dates, everyone just screams at you for like not going to Seattle.
You're not going to their city. Yeah, it's interesting. Here's what I
That
think.
is so wild, though. They're like, God, I know you're going to 87 cities, but why aren't you coming to Toledo? You're like,
100%. Or they're
we
like,
went
you
to Toledo last
Yeah,
time.
they're like, you hate Texas. You're boycotting Texas. And I'm like, bitch, I go there like fucking twice a year.
Do you guys, you know the comedian Jen Kirkman?
Yes, I know who she is.
Sometimes it
Familiar.
really entertains me when she's like, she just tells people to like, she just refers people to like her website, and like when she like shows people that she just was in the city that they were complaining about, that she's not going to. And she's like, you know, which I've never been in this position. Busy and Amelia, you have a lot of experience with this, but this is like my first foray into like going to cities and potentially disappointing people or exciting people. But I try to remember that it's like that individual people don't realize that it's cumulative, like the complaining. So it just feels like one really big person yelling at you when it's really like 1,000 people with like minor complaints that they probably don't think anything of, you know, but it is really hard. It's very hard to feel like, oh, like I'm trying to make everyone happy. I just, how far is it? And then I get into like trying to do social work for people. Like well, like it's a 2-hour drive to here. Could you make it? Could like you arrange a carpool? And then I'm like, what am I doing? I can't.
You don't need to do that for them.
No. And so I
like
can't imagine a real, like a legit mini city tour, what that must even feel like.
It's fine. And at this point, I forget every time that you get so stoked to announce a tour, and then everyone's like, like, you hate this thing. Why aren't you coming to Florida? I'm so upset. And then they don't think about it for the rest of the day. And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Right. And it's stuck with you. It's like a part of you. Well, that's
Death
the
by
whole
1,000
thing, right?
comments.
Yeah. And this is the curse of the internet also,
Right.
because like, you know, people like fire emojis and call me a queen all day. And then one person is like, eh. And then it makes me feel bad all day long.
Right. I've 100% worked with people who are like, they'll, you know, send me a scathing comment about something that we did together. And I'm like, okay, well, and then I'll go and look, and there will be like 1,000 amazing comments, and they dug out and found the one comment of the one person, because that it just holds more weight, which is, I mean, I guess that's a good lesson for life, but it really sucks.
Well, does it hold more weight, or is that on
It feels
us?
like it does. It's like, you know, we all remember the time someone was shitty to us when we were 15, but we don't remember the million times someone was kind to us. You still remember that person saying that you had T-Rex arms or something.
I look like a dinosaur, Caissie.
That you look like a dinosaur. Yeah.
Who said that? Let's kill
Early internet IMDb had like a chat feature on the pages, on the actor pages. And I made the huge mistake of looking at mine. Mm-hmm. And it was like early internet. I didn't even know. I didn't know that it was going to be mean.
Yeah.
How would I? I was also, by the way, 20 years old. I was a baby. And I read a couple nice things, and then most of them were just very unkind about my appearance and my body and all of the rest of it, or how annoying I am, or my voice, whatever. And then the one that really stuck with me, like really imprinted on me, Amelia's
doing T-Rex
guy who was like, I've been trying to figure out what Busy Phillips reminds me of for so long, and I figured it out. She reminds me of a T-Rex.
Oh my God.
She looks like a T-Rex. And I was like, I get it. And he's right. And my God. You know what I mean? Like, I literally was like,
oh God.
That's, you know. My friend Bonnie said this thing to me today that's really interesting. She was like, you know, your thing that you constantly battle, Busy, is that you always like default to it being about you when it's not about you.
Oh my God. What? That is a real friend. And also, wow.
Yeah.
Bonnie.
Bonnie's like, we have to have Bonnie. Oh, you guys, my DoorDash is here. Hold on.
What did you get to eat? We guessed soup.
Great guess. a turkey sandwich
Oh,
I
that
can't
would've been
and
my
a celery juice.
Oh,
Trying to reconnect
yeah.
with myself, guys. This is what I'm.
did it.
Wait, Caisie's face.
Because you said celery juice tastes
Like
rotten
dirt
in New York. Yeah.
Well, I got it from a new place. I'm trying.
All right.
I'm trying.
All right.
The produce here, the farmer's market.
Oh, buddy.
The produce here sucks.
Yeah, I know. But you're Californian, different. Yeah. What do you think? Trash?
Absolutely not.
Damn.
Just literally disgusting.
Shit.
You have to get Amelia to send you celery from her magical farmer's market.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
kidding you. You guys, it's taken everything in my person to not immediately start Googling the poppy guy to see if I can convince him to ship me the poppies.
Oh,
Like-
yeah. I don't know if Bluebird Meadows is the farm where I
Come on.
got these poppies from.
Come on, guys.
And,
Bluebird Meadows. Let's
yeah.
shout them out.
Bluebird Meadows.
They're
I'm
might
Googling right now.
They're so
they might
gorgeous.
ship. They also will drop groceries off at your house if you live in Durham, North Carolina on
my
Wednesdays.
Gosh.
Yeah,
I love Bluebird Meadows.
we love them. They're great.
Oh my gosh. So I have a question about, you were talking about, I thought what you said about being a good steward for your creative self was so interesting.
Me too.
Because you were talking about, like, you know, creating an environment in which your creative self can be their
Thrive.
best. Thrive.
Yeah.
Yes, be their best.
Create.
My question is, what about when your creative self is being like a brat, like a petulant brat who doesn't want to do their only job?
Oh, then I really, yep. The answer is kind of embarrassing, mostly because it shows what a lovely life I lead. But like, if my creative self is being a brat, then I'm like, okay, little buddy, like, let's go out for a little, like I treat myself like a little baby, and let's go out for a little walk and go and look at some things, and like, let's go get you a treat. And, or I run errands, which is my favorite thing to do.
You love to run errands?
You show yourself compassion and kindness, and you treat your self the way that you would treat a really good friend who was creatively blocked, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's
so I guess that's a good thing. isn't it?
Amazing.
That's
Yeah.
genius.
Yes. It's genius. Like, you know what I do? I'm like, flagellation. I'm like, oh, you're so fucking, why can't you just work? Why can't like in Sweden, I was really having a hard time because in Sweden, I thought, I'm gonna have all this time to myself. I'm gonna really get some work done. I'm gonna really read.
But were you on vacation, babe?
My life is a vacation in a way. So it's confusing.
I understand.
Designating, you know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to do work. I have things that I have been wanting to work on. And it just emotionally, I'm just not in that place in this moment. And I just didn't. And I was a little bit weirdly hard on myself about it. I also did take a lot of walks in snow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so hard to not be hard on yourself when it's about productivity. Also, when the productivity, because productivity with creative work looks like frickin' everything and changes all of the time. It can be I read this whole book, or it can be today I organized all of my colored pencils, or I wrote a song, or I wrote, that's the real thing. But you can't think about it in terms of, creativity lives outside of capitalism, even though we just try to constantly slam it into the peg of capitalism.
Yeah.
But it's slammed for us, right?
It is slammed for us. It's slammed for us, and we do the slamming, and everyone else does the slamming. Everyone's slamming.
It's true. One time I used to be such an avid Twitter user and back when it was, back when it was
nice
good
place.
and fun and
2008.
a nice place. Yeah. And one time somebody, like just somebody that followed me messaged me and said like, "Hey, are you okay? I haven't seen you around on Twitter a lot lately. And I just wanted to make sure you are okay." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm totally okay. But why haven't I been?" And then I was like, "Oh, I sell every word I think of." You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Like I don't
Yeah.
even have any extra words to put on here for free and for fun. I sell every idea that I think of. Or, I'm in the process of trying to sell every idea that I think of. And that was like a shitty feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
So now I try to keep some ideas for myself, maybe a little too much. But yeah, that's a weird thing that we're trying to make a living doing these creative things. And I think everyone is creative.
Absolutely.
In some way. But man, we really rolled the dice. The three of us really rolled the dice on solely supporting ourselves being creative.
Yeah, exactly. When you decide, creativity, the weird gatekeeping of like who's creative and who's not is just absolute trash. But when you're trying, to support yourself with your like brain and your body and your like every traumatic event that's ever happened to you, and like pushing it forward into like monetization, virality, and popularity.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, it sounds.
exhausting.
It actually, describing it like that kind of sounds like torture.
It can be a little bit, and it's so weird. I think it's a good thing to acknowledge how creative every pediatrician, teacher, librarian.
I was about to say like teachers are the most most
Yes.
teachers are the
Yeah.
most like
Yes.
creative people. Did you guys see that thing that was viral like a little bit ago on social media of the preschool teacher who would, as like a gift to her preschoolers at the end of or kindergartners at the end of the year, crocheted them or sewed them a stuffed animal based on a picture that the kid had drawn that year in class?
I saw that.
Like,
Incredible.
it's incredible. And
that's
she's just
love.
doing that out of like love and being like, this is a thing. Like these kids, I want to encourage them to continue to remember like the creatures that they come up with. And like, I don't know, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My friend Will, I went over to my pal Will's house to play board games with his brand new sweetie, Mary. And Mary, who I adore. Congratulations, Will. Congratulations, Mary, in meeting each other. Mary pointed out that at a certain point she'd lived in a different city and she had two different friend groups. One friend group was lesbians who were all teachers, and the other friend group was artists. And she would talk about how the artists, like the way they were both treated when she would talk about each group to other people, like she was basically like all of the artists were constantly treated with reverence and respect, and all of the teachers were treated like by someone like grabbing their like forearm and being like, that is so sweet that you teach those kids.
Oh my God, I hate
And-
it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, and she was like, what if we just reversed it? Like, what if the teachers are, because like they literally create the pathway for everyone to become an artist,
Right. Or
like,
any.
for everyone, or anything, for everyone
Anything.
to become creative. Like they do that. And
Yeah.
we don't, and still we do this horrible thing to them. We're like, that's so great that you made those little stuffed animals for those weird, stupid babies. It's so rude and wrong. Busy,
It
the fact
is.
that you are doing this and eating a turkey sandwich, you are so fucking cool.
I'm really not. I really had a 2-hour therapy session earlier that I meant to eat during therapy, but then it was just too much emotions.
You can't
Yo,
cry and have turkey sandwich falling out of your mouth.
I
No.
love crying and eating. Crying and eating is one of my favorite
Do you?
pastimes.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
I got to do one of my favorite pastimes, which is
what?
walking around New York City crying yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Nothing
So
like
romantic.
having like I got like a thing, a text, and I was like standing on a street corner in New York, and I just like started sobbing, and I was like, this feels right. I like this. Like I was like, this is good. This is good that I'm right here in this moment. Like it's so much better to be like in the middle of like literally I was like across from Stonewall, like
Yeah.
the Stonewall Inn. I was
Yeah.
like, this is exactly where I want to like be confronted with a thing and like cry hysterically for a minute.
Yeah. New York
Yes.
City will take care of you when you're crying.
Yes.
It's like crying in a Waffle House. Like everyone like sees you and like
get
lets
it.
you be.
They
Yeah,
get
and they
it.
let you be, and they're also just like sending you good vibes. Like you know it. You know they're sending you good vibes.
Yeah.
Sending you good vibes.
One time I was with our friend Paul F. Tompkins. I don't know if you know him, Amelia, very talented comedian, but
We love him.
A woman was crying across from us, and I just handed her a tissue, and she started crying harder. And he was like, "You made her cry harder," but I was like, "No, this is trust me, she needed it. I'm just helping her get to the end of the crying, you know."
You help. That's so nice.
Well, because there's that thing that you're holding on a little bit until someone asks you if you're
Are you
okay,
okay?
or if somebody shows you kindness.
Any
Sometimes that can feel really overwhelming emotionally, and in those moments, like Mark's been very nice to me the last few days, and like having like my ex be so kind to me while I'm like moving through grief has really been like sadder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like broken my heart more. Like I'm like, yeah. What is that?
I'm not trying to top your story.
Please
Just
do.
Along those lines, I was going through something in New York City. I don't even know what it was. I was just feeling very isolated, and my job was, I don't know. I just was going through something, and a doorman tipped his hat to me and said, How are
No.
you today, miss? And I burst out crying in his face, and he was like, "It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay." And I was like, "Sir, thank you."
I
don't
love
know.
that. I
Did
actually
you have-
love that.
It was what I needed. I needed someone to like pop the balloon and, and make me realize that like I was feeling a thing. And he was like the first person that regarded me in a long time,
Saw you. He saw you.
Yeah, he saw me.
Like we're
and-
like all waiting for somebody to recognize, right? To see.
yeah.
That's like why I was convinced that I used to fall all the time, because I was like waiting for somebody to be like, "Are you okay? Are you in pain? What's happening?"
Yeah.
Have you had
Guys,
those
this is-
moments in New York,
Yeah.
Amelia? A lot of before you lived in a place where everyone sees you and gives you beautiful
Brings you
flowers.
poppies.
I would argue that one, I feel very seen where I live, but I think the way that people see you in New York is very different because the way I used to describe it to my partner Sandy is that like because you don't have very many trees to commune with in New York, you're constantly communing with the people around you. Like you treat everybody like an element of your environment in a
Nature.
totally different way. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow.
Like, and so like, which is why there's also just an overall sense of like true community that like doesn't exist in any other city in the world, I don't think.
Yeah.
The fact that like every time anyone brings their baby carriage to the edge of the stairs at the subway, like someone is there to help, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost Scandi in a way. It's like almost Icelandic, like how people like leave all their babies outside of the grocery store there and you can just like wave hi to all the babies. Like there's a
Right.
sense of like communal living.
Caretaking.
In a beautiful and
communal
important way.
caretaking.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I wonder if that ever happened to me in New York. I cried all over. I cry in public all the time. I'm like a true Cancerian in that way. In that, like, if I need to cry, it's out there. It's happening
Yeah.
anywhere. Yeah,
When is your birthday again?
July 2nd.
Right. Same as cricket. I knew that.
Same as cricket.
Same as Cricket. And when I was in Sweden, do you remember that very cool clothing store in Brooklyn called Bird Brooklyn?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah,
yes.
of course. So Jen, who owned Bird Brooklyn, who I literally had met one time, like a million years ago, but someone had a mutual friend had put me in touch with her because, Birdie's like considering this move to the boarding school in Sweden. Jen's husband is Swedish, and, she closed Bird Brooklyn and they moved to Sweden. They live outside of Stockholm. And so while I was there, I texted her and was like, do you want to get lunch? And we had like the greatest day. We had so much fun together. We literally have never hung out before. And we just had like the best time. Guess when her birthday is?
July 2nd?
Yep.
No way.
That's right.
Wow.
That makes so much sense. That store was fantastic.
Totally.
It was a good store. It was a good
you guys,
store.
it was this clothing store in Brooklyn
Not to
that
speak well about myself, also being like, of course it was perfect because of my birthday. Sorry.
and Cricket.
And
you
Cricket.
remind me a lot of Cricket, I have to say. Yeah, like you do. Like I think you're very magical. Amelia, I always have thought that. Like, and I saw before I knew you, and Amelia happens to be the cousin
Mm-hmm.
of Cricket's godfather, Ed Drosty, from the band Grizzly Bear. I do want to say, let's just really we've never even had this conversation on the podcast. I'm digressing a little bit because this is so interesting to me. Now, with all the like Nepo baby conversations, which I really do think are like red herrings for the fact that like, I don't know, Donald Trump should be indicted, but let's write articles about that. One thing that I feel like people have not sunk their little teeth into yet is that talents and abilities run in family lines.
Yeah.
It's true. Like people who are inclined mathematically oftentimes have children that are really great at math, right? And like people who are lawyers and then their kids are lawyers or whatever. It's not just because they're doing what their parents do. It's because there's like an innate thing inside of them that's like drawn to it because they're good at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I also think that particularly with show business, I think show business is like a big leap for like a lot of people are interested in pursuing like a creative life. A lot of people who have like maybe a not necessarily creative family, and you can speak to this, Busy. I mean, your mom was creative, but that wasn't her path in life.
No, she was a real estate agent, but yes.
I'm sure like they were supportive, but for like every supportive family, I know there's a million families that are like, this isn't a real job. There's no way you're going to be successful at this. We can't support you if you decide to do this. You're on your own. Blah, blah. We've all heard a million stories. I think for people that grow up in a family where people are performers or whatever, you just see that it can be real. You see that it can be possible. And your parents can't turn around and tell you it's not possible. They're fucking doing it. So,
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that like seeing it as a reality plays a huge part in it too, because for other people who don't grow up that way, they're kind of like already at a disadvantage, not a disadvantage, but they're starting late because they still have to get over the hump of seeing it as possible, where someone else has been seeing it that way all along in their life from jump,
Yeah, I do think though that talent is inherited. Like I do.
Sure,
and
for sure.
I think that a misconception is that talent can be taught. I don't think it can. I'm personally of the mindset that talent really can't be taught. And that like there's a thing that certain people are able to harness that other people just for whatever reason just can't
They just
quite
don't.
get there.
Yeah.
They just don't.
I mean, listen, even if your dad is whoever, who are we talking about? Even if your dad is
Tom
Clooney.
Hanks.
George Clooney or
George
Tom
Clooney.
Hanks. Yeah.
My friend Tom.
You know what I mean? Like you might get a movie because you're their kid. Like if we're being real talk, like someone might be willing to talk to you and put you in a movie. But if you're not good, you're not going to probably get into like a high quality second movie or third movie. Like the nepotism wears off after a while if you're not a great gamble for people to put you in their work. So, you know.
That's also like 100% the whole thing, which is, I wonder if this is true in music. I know that Nepo babies in music are like a real trigger point for some people but it really, in music, I feel like it more means maybe people who had connections, but people who have like wealth. They come from money, and so they're able to pursue, because music is becoming increasingly harder to make a living, right?
Yeah, it is. But also it's the same world though, where like when you're like, if you're the progeny of some famous actor, like you just have to be excellent and you have to be kind. And I think that's the Nepo baby conversation. First of all, I think it's just because everyone likes saying Nepo. Second,
And baby.
And baby.
I love saying baby.
Babies. There's a reason why it's like the most used song lyric. It's the most fun thing to say. Baby.
Yeah. Baby.
Baby. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Nepo babies. Everyone likes saying Nepo babies. Oh yeah, also that you're, Caissie, what you were saying about like how you have to be, you can only glean so much shine from your family in this industry. You pretty much once you get like one shine time and then you have to prove it. Otherwise,
right.
It's the same with music. Like that's one of my favorite parts about music, and the reason why I got into it is that I think it's an art form that everyone feels like they're able to judge and decide if they like or don't like, as opposed to like painting or modern dance or like contemporary dance. I'm working on saying contemporary dance because when I say modern dance, it shows my age. Contemporary dance, like people have fear around judging it, whereas with music, people are like, I like this, or they don't like it, and that's that,
and that's it, right?
Yeah,
that's
and
the
that's
word. Right.
Yeah, people are like, I feel it or I don't feel it, and that's cool. Like, and they like, and no one feels hesitant about that. And so, like, yeah, like you can be like, you know, Bob Dylan's son or whatever, but if you can't write a song, like, bye bye, you know.
Right.
It's very true. I mean, also like
a huge example in music. No, is just like, I mean, look at John Lennon's kids. Like, we got what we got from them, and that's it. You know, but like, it's not. You know, Julian Lennon never was John Lennon, and I'm happy for him because that would be weird. You know,
it would be weird. Also, yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's weird when people are their parents. You're like, oh no, like something bad. This is not okay.
Right. Yeah. All of them Beatles have kids, and we don't. There's no Beatles right now, though. Still, you know, which is good for them. They should lead their own lives.
Yeah, bless it. One Beatles alone.
There could only be one.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
You know what BetterHelp is, the service that helps you find someone to talk to when you need someone to talk to.
Working with a therapist can help you get closer to the best version of yourself. And isn't that what we're all looking for? If you're a person who has been to therapy, as we are, you know how vital therapy is to your health and mental well-being. And listen, I had therapy today for almost 2 hours, 2 full hours, guys. And all I'm saying is that if I can do it for almost 2 full hours and I've got another one scheduled in a day and a half for an hour, you can log into BetterHelp and you can find someone that's going to help you. It's convenient, it's flexible, it's affordable, it's entirely online. You fill out a brief questionnaire, you get matched to a licensed therapist. You can switch therapists at any time No additional charge if someone's not clicking for you. If you're like, I don't know about this vibe, you can get a new vibe.
Which is so great because BetterHelp wants you to match with the therapist that is right for you. So whether you're trying to learn coping skills or how to set boundaries, who doesn't need that?
Everybody needs it.
We need that.
Everybody needs
that.
it. When you feel empowered, you're more prepared to take on everything that life throws at you. Guys, if you want to live a more empowered life, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/busy to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/busy, and you will get 10% off your first month. Thanks, BetterHelp. You know, I really came around on the Beatles, Caissie.
Did you?
Did you not like them?
I didn't like them.
What's your favorite record by them?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've come around on them because I realized sort of late in life how much I love George Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I connected that because my mom was a real Paul girl. And my
He's
mom
also very lovable. Yeah.
loved the Beatles.
Yeah.
I saw Paul McCartney and Wings when I think that's actually my first concert ever.
I love Wings.
With my parents.
Yeah.
At like a stadium. Anyway. Amelia, what was your first concert? Do you remember?
Yes, it was Little Feat, and then it was Jeff Beck, and then the one that but really, my first concert that I wanted to go to was 98 Degrees at the Tweeter Center.
Oh, amazing!
Did you?
The first concert
great.
I wanted to go to was Debbie Gibson.
Oh my gosh!
Oh yes,
yeah, not Deborah, not Deborah, Debbie. We were still Debbie.
Debbie.
Oh my goodness!
Now she DMs me.
That's so.
The world
nice.
is crazy.
What
wild.
is this beautiful world that we live in? What was your first concert?
I went to see Bryan Adams. And,
Yes.
the Hooters opened for him.
Amazing.
And
Ooh.
I don't know who the Hooters are, but
Yeah,
I
were
just
they named
like the name.
after the restaurant? Or
No.
pre or post restaurant?
I think they were simultaneous. But here's the weird thing is that this is years. I was I think sophomore in high school, and my mom had just randomly gotten me tickets, being like, she must like Bryan Adams because she was definitely never going to get me Prince tickets. Let's be honest, because it was too racy for her. But here's the weird thing: is it was at the Worcester Centrum in Massachusetts, and this is years before I met my husband. But he was at that same concert, on some random Tuesday night. Went to see Bryan Adams and the Hooters.
I love that.
Are you from Massachusetts? I'm from Massachusetts.
Yeah, I'm from Fitchburg.
Oh, fuck yeah. I grew up in Cambridge.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, did you hear about the big Massachusetts news today?
No.
What? I
What's
didn't.
up?
Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez were seen at a couple different Dunkin Donuts, and he was serving people in the drive-thru. And so I think we're getting Dunkin Donuts commercials starring Ben Affleck.
Oh, bless it. Well,
I'm actually nothing is better than that news today. I needed that. I needed that win. I needed that win today.
They knew.
I needed that win. You know, Dunkin', I worked with Dunkin'. I loved him.
Yeah.
Remember?
Dunkin'.
I did a thing with Dunkin'. It was
Yes,
like Dunkin'
I
and
do
CarMax.
remember. I was so jealous because Raymond went with you, and I was like, I should be there. I mean, I know it's not my job and it's Raymond's job, but I should be there with Busy when she's doing Dunkin' Donuts business.
Yeah, official
so
Dunkin'
cool.
business.
Do you
Did
have
you-
Dunkin' Donuts where you live, Amelia?
No.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
there's like two. There's two, but me
Okay.
and I don't really is it really a real one unless you whip off the I-95. you
And
know?
like a 15-year-old girl is half asleep and gives you like a little attitude.
Yeah, 100%. That's gosh, when we're on tour, the minute we go through like a toll booth where someone's really salty and has those
Yes.
long A's, my body begins to sing. I love it. be mean to me. It makes me feel so safe.
When you're in LA, we have to go to dinner. You, me, my husband, maybe my kids, if you're not
Yes,
against
please.
it, and just talk about like what it is about Massachusetts in particular, where people are just so salty.
Oh God, I love it so much. It makes me feel so good.
We talk about it all the time. My kids love to do an impression of my family's thick accent and just like disrespecting, everything that you're about. And
God. Yes. You know who did it really well was that show Hacks. When they show like her mother and father, like that. Also, that like tipped into like the like mania anxiety energy of the Northeast that I love so much.
Yes.
Like, God.
Oh my gosh. I did this podcast one time where somebody was asking me to describe what I meant when I was talking about like this, like that energy. And I was like, one time my aunt and uncle bought a condo in the same condo complex as my mom. And they ripped out all the carpets, the perfectly good carpets, and replaced it with white carpets. And my mom was furious with my aunt. Furious. And I was like, what are you mad about? And she was like, who does she think she is? And I just was like, what are you mad about? And she was like, the nearest I could get is that like she took out perfectly good carpets and replaced them with white carpets.
She thinks she's too good.
She thinks
that's what it is.
Too good.
She thinks she's better than me.
She thinks she's better than me.
And that it occurred to her to do it. That's what would make me really mad.
Yes.
To be like, oh, you treat yourself this nice where you look at something and think this could be improved.
It made me laugh so hard, but that's just like that to me is such a Massachusetts vibe. To be
so
like
real.
I'm furious about my new sister-in-law's carpets.
Yeah, I feel like I've literally seen that like in an Affleck movie.
It's so real.
It's like feels like Goodwill Hunting.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's still carpet, She's gonna have to deal with the consequences of her white carpet actions,
100%. Also, bless it, white carpets, Jesus.
Never in a million years, guys.
Never.
Massachusetts.
In Massachusetts,
terrible.
it's gonna be covered in sludge in like a second.
So my mom wasn't wrong, but I just was like, I thought it was so funny that she was like mad about it.
I love that so much. It's so
I do too.
real. I'm excited about Ben and Dunkin. That's really great. Caissie did my favorite SNL bit about Dunkin that I've seen in so long. I'm
gonna look that up after because I have to revisit.
So good. It was like that was my favorite era of SNL when like Julio Torres was like first starting to write. For them and like was doing some like that was like when he did Wells for Boys.
Yes.
Which like I think about.
I'm
all
obsessed
the time.
that you love SNL.
Oh, I love it.
I know.
love it so much. Also, like anything that's like close to what live TV. My dad is a children's television producer, so I like have a deep abiding love for live television.
Oh my gosh, what did your dad produce?
He did Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Oh, my favorite show ever.
Gosh,
and he
I
did
loved it so much.
The remake of Zoom.
It's like a game show.
The remake of Zoom.
Yeah, he did. It was all like public TV.
Yeah,
stuff.
love it. Oh my god, I was obsessed with Zoom. Also,
oh my gosh,
yeah,
so nice.
Well, no wonder you're just like the best.
Yeah, she fits right in.
Right.
But anyway, no, my point is that I didn't even know I didn't even know the cousin connection. To be fair, Ed Drosty also didn't know the cousin connection at first.
We have a lot of cousins.
There's a lot of cousins, but there are a lot of musicians in your family.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot.
There's a lot of people who like play China Forbes.
Yes.
China Forbes. She's a cousin.
Mm-hmm.
She's in Pink Martini.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She is.
I
think there's others.
There are. I know there are. People play things. I remember at like Ed's wedding long ago, people in the family playing instruments, picking things up. And it's like that to me is, you grow up. So did you grow up, your dad was in TV. Did you grow up around music?
Not like in that we would sing around the dinner table and stuff.
You would?
Oh yeah.
No, you would?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I love
My mom
that.
loved to sing. My mom was like one of those early she was like at NPR at the beginning when it was just this like weird hippie collective, and like would do these like wild radio pieces for NPR too. So she was in like audio and interviewing people, and like made some of the first. I want to like put out a lot of her early radio pieces on my label, mostly because like she basically invented the frickin' podcast, but like, and like all of the like Jay Allison, like all of those like magical audio people now remember my mom like a forefront maker of
That is
of
so
weird
cool.
audio.
Oh
You
my
should do a
gosh.
documentary.
It should. And also, like, not very many people know that, like, NPR was, like, a weird radio signal that, like, a bunch of freaks grabbed and then turned into this, like, wild circus.
I know nothing about it.
It's so cool. They would just fill time.
You have
and
to do
so
this
it was, like, a
documentary.
portrait of America in this, like... I don't have the brain for docs. Who do we know? You should do it. Let's do it together.
Done.
Well, no,
done.
oh my God, my friend Colin Hanks. Guys,
friend Colin
it's
Hanks.
all coming back
Who
around.
I talked to on Insta. I think, did you introduce him to my music? You must have.
Yeah, probably. I've introduced everyone to everything, so it's wouldn't be surprising.
I was going to
No,
say, this is also like a real Gillian Jacobs vibe. I feel like she would be obsessed with this story too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, she would love it. That's a great call too, Case.
Yeah, we got to do it too because everybody who was at NPR in that era is also like really starting to feel truly
Older?
left behind by audio and by
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah. So
Okay.
Now's the
well,
time.
this is a pivot, and we're gonna have to talk more about this. Casey, make a note.
Okay.
We gotta put Amelia in touch. We should put Amelia in touch with Gillian.
Yeah.
Truly. And
Yeah,
Colin. I mean,
and
Colin
Colin.
and Sean are doing a bunch of. Oh, they're doing the John Candy documentary.
Oh, wow.
Which is
It's gonna be
great.
a good one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one.
it's about time. I'm glad.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
New
I
different
know.
look, please. Yes.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but they do. Colin and his partner have done a few documentaries now. They did one about the Bataclan, and they did the Tower Records documentary.
Yeah.
Oh, bless Tower. Mm.
Yeah. Well, that was like Colin was from Sacramento. I mean, he lived with his mom in Sacramento for
Right.
most of his like childhood and teen years, and that's where like Tower was headquartered, and he just like had such a deep affinity for Tower Records, and so it was like his passion project. Why are we talking about Colin? But anyway, he's the best.
It's such a special place. I have a friend he's like become a stepdad to these two teens, and he had the great joy of showing them the film Empire Records
Oh my
the
God.
first time. Like,
So
and
good.
which is totally about Tower Records, must
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. Let's be
And
honest.
filmed in Wilmington, North Carolina. Oh wait, so
where I filmed
Where you filmed
Dawson's Creek.
Dawson's Creek.
Dawson's previously on Dawson's Creek. That was exciting. When they asked me to record that when I went in for ADR.
Previously
like-
on Dawson's Creek.
Yeah. Can you record a previously on Dawson's Creek? You youngins listening who binge watch shows, you don't know about previously on Dawson's Creek, but previously was like a big deal when you were watching a show week to week. You
Huge.
needed to be reminded what had happened.
I've
Yeah.
been watching The Jeffersons because it's like the only thing I can digest at the moment.
Oh,
and
goody.
their previously is like there's just like a man saying, then George got in a fight with Helen, and
Just giving you the plot points.
yeah, just telling like
Hilarious.
just a man like voicing over it as they show you the clips, and then
I'm kind of obsessed with that.
Louise tried to break it up, and I'm just like, well, I don't, sir. It was a different time. I don't need so much recap, but They also had a lot of two-parters, 2, 3, 4-parters on the Jeffersons.
That was a big deal in sitcoms, like in the 80s and 70s and 80s.
It is so endless. I've been watching it round the clock for like 3 weeks now, and I'm still not to the end of the Jeffersons because they had like 107 episodes a season or something. It was like 26 episodes a season for 11 seasons or something.
Are they 22-minute episodes? How long are the apps?
They probably are.
Yeah, they're like maybe like slightly longer. But anyway, highly recommend it if you ever just need something to put on. It a lot of it is like of a different time, but a lot of it is legit still, LOL.
That's so good to
It's
hear.
a great tip.
I never watched that show. I
You
should.
didn't? Yeah,
No.
my husband never watched it either, and so he's really been enjoying it. And like he's like, God, like Marla Gibbs is so talented, and I mean Sherman Helmsley. I mean, they're all massively talented. Roxy Roker. Anyway, not to go off on a Jeffersons tangent.
I mean, listen, we were here for it.
Yeah, I'm down.
So I have a question about touring. We're
Yes.
jumping all over the place. As you are a Cancerian and you cry easily, like what happens when you're touring and you just have like one of those fucking days? Like, and you are, what do you do when you are like, I gotta go perform on Bonnaroo stage today and I feel like this?
Well, for one thing, like performing and singing in general feels like when my back is fucked up, which usually happens when I'm stressed out. If I play a show, by the end of the show, I will have fixed my back. Shows are like, you know, they're like coming or
Healing.
something. They it's a reset.
Yeah.
They like change. Yeah, and they like you can exercise any amount of energy that you need to through shows. And it's when I have a bad day and I have to like talk to someone.
Okay. Or like do interviews, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but even
Like
or
this
like
podcast right now.
no, because also podcasts are different. It's usually like when I have to like talk to some like rich guy.
Yeah.
And I just can't like if I have it up to here, there's no way I'm not going to tell that guy what I think about him.
It's so
if
fucking
I've had
hard.
a bad day. Yeah, and I won't. And like at this point, I just won't. Like I'm not going to not say it if someone rubs me the wrong way. But that's also because I'm in an independent band where like I don't have to kiss that much ass unless it's
thank
like
God.
asses that I've decided to kiss. You know,
Kiss the asses that you want to kiss.
Yeah, kiss. The
That's what I
asses that
say.
you choose. Yeah, that's
And only those.
Yeah,
ones.
only those ones. Yeah. And other than that, like that's when it really gets hard. But honestly, like also when you're on tour, like my whole job is just protecting my vibe. So like I don't have bad days because my days are very, very simple. And usually they're about like, you know, I wake up in my bed in the back of the tour bus around like 11. I like go on my phone and I'm like, where am I going to get coffee today in Tuscaloosa? and then like me and Sandy skibbled a coffee. We'll probably take Graham, our photographer, and he'll take like photos of us while we're walking and looking cute. And then we'll have a coffee and we'll find like a fun place to go eat lunch. And around 3, it's time to do sound check. And we do that. And then, you know, once 5 hits, I have a gin and I start putting on my makeup and like, I squeeze my little body into a leotard and
I love your stage costumes. I just love them.
Thank you.
Occasionally I'm like, how has a labia not flopped out at this point? Because
that is my main concern. And the answer is many pairs of tights.
Okay. They're held
multiple tights.
That's just a good tip for anyone who 2 pairs of tights is a good tip for any person who is worried about anything moving.
100%. I learned it from the drag queens. What you do is you get 1 pair of extra shimmer ones, and then 1 pair of fishnets to match.
Capizio fishnets in nude. Usually, I mean,
indeed, both of them are Capizio brand. And then, like, honey, nothing is moving.
I love it.
Yeah, and your butt just looks amazing.
And you
heard
danced
it.
you dance your
Heard it
little
here.
booty all over, and your labia don't fall out.
And your
of
labia
the
don't fall
sides
out.
of the leotard.
100%.
Is there like a person, like immediately in my head just now, right now, I'm like, I want to see you with David Byrne on stage, but that's what I want. That's my personal desires and wishes.
I
Is
love
there a-
David Byrne. He's so great. And we have been on the same stage together. We opened for him. And we're friends. We like email sometimes.
Do you think you'd want to go out with me, or is that weird?
dog?
Guys, I'm serious. Should I go out with David Byrne?
Is that? I mean, I know a lot of people who've gone out with him. It is a serious ride. It seems like
Really?
it's fun. Yeah, yeah.
Seems like
I'm
you should
fine.
try it.
Why not?
Fuck yeah.
I live in New York.
Yo, you
Here's what I
can.
can't do. Here's what
Get
I can't
you a
do.
folding bike.
I was going to say, I can't bike on these streets. Do you know how prone I am to accidents and falling? No, sir, I will walk and I will meet you there.
Oh,
I'll be
that's
sweating for the
romantic,
first
though.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
like Helena Bonham Carter and Tim Burton with like the sky bridge between their two houses. Like, you take your car, David will take his bike. You'll meet
Yeah.
there. You'll rendezvous.
I don't know. All I'm saying is
Could happen.
It could happen.
Crickets was so excited because she saw him biking down the street one day after school. And she was like, oh my God, that's David Byrne. Like, the only kid in her class leaving their school that was like pointing out David Byrne. And I was just like, we did it. We really
nice.
nailed it.
Yeah, you did a good job.
We did a
You
good job.
A really good job.
Well, other than my new boyfriend, David Byrne, is there someone that like you want to do like a collab? I love a collab.
dream
but like
collab.
A dream collab. What's a dream collab for you?
A dream collab. I don't know. It's hard because, like, to me, like, you have to have the idea first.
Right.
That
And
makes
I
sense.
try really hard to not reach out to people that I love unless we like meet,
Yeah.
you know, because then we can actually be friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
That makes sense.
do they need to be living?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's a dream.
No.
Mm-hmm. A dream.
Well, then it would be Prince.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Obviously.
Of
Yeah,
course.
then it would be Prince.
Here's a hot tip. If you go visit Paisley Park when you're in Minneapolis, if you take the deluxe tour, you can go into his recording studio and sing with him to Raspberry Beret and get it put on a thumb drive.
That would make me cry.
Yeah. It's really
I have
beautiful.
one. I went on this tour and they were like, does anyone want to come sing with Prince? And this man who had been like, I was feeling like very shy that day. And this man who had been chit-chatting with me through the whole tour, who I know now, we're friendly now, but that day I didn't know him at all. And he was like, you have to do it. And I was like, what? And he was like, I know, go in there. You're going to kill it. And I was like, I just felt like I couldn't say no. And I was glad that I did it, but I've never listened to it.
Oh, that's so nice that he encouraged you to do that.
It was nice. And then he like challenged me
Casey,
to
can
play.
we please put it on this podcast at,
Put it
at the end,
on.
please?
Yeah.
Can we please?
I'll have
please?
to try to find it and see where
Oh,
it is.
you know
'cause I
exactly
never-
where you know exactly
I
where it
never
is. Don't
listened.
lie.
Just
Don't
do it.
lie.
Yeah, just do it 30 seconds. That's all.
Honey.
Yeah.
I think we honestly
We'll
we
see.
all need this.
We
We
do.
all need this.
Maybe on the
serious.
subs. Maybe on the subs.
No, I think it'd be good
Oh,
on
yeah.
this in
Put
this
that shit behind a
episode.
paywall. Yeah.
All right. Paywall it. That's fine.
well,
I get it.
Well, let's see if I can even find it. I know it exists, but you know.
I know you
so
know where
exciting.
it is.
So Prince
Okay.
would be your dream collab,
Prince is
but
I think Prince would definitely be my dream collab. Also, everybody I know has like the most beautiful Prince stories
yeah.
from when because he was around and hanging out until like until he left the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so incredible.
Really?
And let's see, yeah, like who? I don't know. I'm not sure yet. We need to see when I do another record, what'll happen. I'm obsessed with this band called Over Mono right now. And they make really beautiful dance tracks.
Ooh.
So-
Wait, I want to look them up.
Oh, Biz, they're so good.
Also, I'm fascinated with the mono connection to Epstein-Barr. Did you guys read that article in The Atlantic?
No.
Oh my God, are you
No.
fucking kidding me? You guys.
What's that?
Did you guys have mono when you were young?
Yes,
Did
I had
any
it
of you?
really badly. Yeah.
No, I didn't. And I really wanted to.
No. I'm glad you didn't, because Caissie, the reason why you and I have weird white lady disease is because it's Epstein-Barr, and Epstein-Barr leads to like all of these autoimmune diseases later in life now that they've found.
Oh
but
my
one of the
gosh.
signifiers of it being like activated in your system, like 95% of people have carried Epstein-Barr, and they like have never looked into any kind of like vaccine or cure for it because they're like, Epstein-Barr is like not really a thing.
Right.
But what they now know after studying it for like the last 30 years, there's an article in The Atlantic. I'm paraphrasing. I am not a doctor. Check your own fucking resources. But what they now know after studying it is that what they believe is that Epstein-Barr actually is like the gateway drug. Like, no, it's like the gateway illness to like all kinds of autoimmune diseases and disorders and MS.
God damn it.
It's the exact, and that the way, like the link to MS is through the virus Epstein-Barr virus. But if you haven't had mono, like mono is, they now think that mono is the activator of Epstein-Barr, that in people who like it's dormant in most of the population, but in the people
horrifying.
that it like gets activated in, it's because of the virus mono, like then ends up activating the Epstein-Barr virus, and then you end up having all of these things later in life.
That's horrifying.
Guys,
What
read
a
the article. It was in
pain.
The Atlantic.
Ugh.
I'll say The Atlantic one more
worst.
time to sound smart, but what if I was like, it really was, this is my old bit, Caissie, my old bit. What if it was really Perez Hilton?
Busy's always like, I think I read it in The Atlantic, and then it's like she saw it on Perez Hilton.
Or just Jared. It was actually just Jared. It was just Jared, guys. Oh, no, my light just went out. Uh-oh, that doesn't seem like
no.
good. Fortuitous.
It's fine.
Go back on, light. There we
I
go.
have-
Oh my God, it came
Oh
back
my
on.
God. She
Yeah,
did
witches.
it. Amelia
Yeah.
did it with her witch powers.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Can I ask, you don't have to answer, but is there like, you said that you try not to reach out to someone unless you've met, and then like maybe you can become friends. Have you gotten the opportunity to become friends with someone that you like really admired? Like someone who you have to be like, oh my God, I know this person.
Mm.
Me.
I mean, like, I think also,
Me.
like, once the pardon.
Busy, of
kidding.
course.
Well,
I'm
of
so kidding.
course. Well, of course, busy.
Obviously. We feel the same. It's
Obviously.
mutual.
I think.
Me.
I think.
Crazy person.
I think. Oh, you know what is the craziest one? Is Chris Martin.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
That is such a good one.
It's such a good one, and
Love him.
I love him too, and like, yeah, he's just so freaking cool.
He's so cool.
Yeah, and he like, I don't even remember what happened. He like did that incredibly famous person thing where he like reached
Yes.
out and was like, "May I have your cell phone number?" through my manager, and then like texted me, and
Wow.
yeah,
That
and now we're
is
like we
rad.
hang, like we like have hung out a couple times when I was in LA, which is just incredible.
That's
It's
very
so
cool.
Yeah,
wild
because
and
also
sweet.
I bet you that house is fucking beautiful.
Yeah, it was. He invited us over to brunch the first time. Of
course he did.
The first time we hung out, and I was Larry Daviding so hard. I was like we had a car. We had like driven our Prius from North Carolina to LA, which is something we usually do every year in
Sure.
January. And like Nick wanted to, I call my partner both Nick and Sandy, which can be confusing, but Nick was like, we should park on the street. And I was like, no, we can't park on the street because we're in Los Angeles and we have to press the button and then the gate's going to open and we can't just walk up to the gate like plebes.
Right.
And like, he was like, no, we should just park on the road. And like, either way, We ended up parking on the road and then walked up to the gate, and it was totally fine because it was a very modest house.
Oh, it was modest. Okay.
It was very modest and beautiful and nice. And also we had brunch with his entire family, which was insane.
I mean, I'm sure it was modest and also
gorgeous.
Yeah, but also like $14 million. I'm not
100%.
kidding. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like every beige cost at least multiple millions of dollars.
Yeah. That's the like trick of real fancy people.
Yeah.
Is that it's not ostentatious ever. You're like, this is cozy. And then you're like, oh, this is cozy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. One of the magical parts of that meeting too is that like when I remember hearing the Coldplay song Yellow on the radio when I was driving home from middle school. And it was the first song that ever like made me ill. Like I loved it so much. I was like, I need to be able, it was before, streaming, before like Napster. And I remember being like, I need to hear this song again or I will feel sad. I'm going to feel sad until I have the physical CD in my hand.
And I was just thinking about that feeling of being like a kid. Like I remember I used to like shake when I would see Janet Jackson like perform on TV. I would shake because I was so happy and I loved it so much. And yeah, just let like deep physical feeling that you get when you're that age.
Yeah, and when you're lucky enough to be able to see this thing that you saw, and there's no other way to see it other than like having the TV on at 7 p.m. and just getting to see Janet. Yeah. And I remember getting home from that car ride and immediately walking myself to Newbury Comics in Harvard Square to be able to buy that first record.
Oh my God.
And then like cut to him texting me and being like, I really like your music, and me being like, whoa.
Well, that's what I wanted to know. Like, what does that feel like to know that like a person that you grew up admiring, like digs what you're doing and respects you? Like, is that mind blowing?
Yeah, I'm trying to feel into it so I can answer authentically. It is complete. Yes. And also it's so, it feels like the universe tesseracting.
Yeah.
Or something, like what is time, or it makes me really excited for small Amelia. Be like in that car.
Like, just wait.
I love that.
Being like, don't you worry, little buddy. Like,
you're going to get within throwing up distance of Chris Martin.
Yeah. Just pretty soon you're going to be talking about if you prefer private jets or tour buses.
And you're like,
and I'm like,
tour buses it is. Because
buses for me. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Okay, Amelia, you know the drill. We like to ask people about pivots on this here talk show over the airwaves. What is it? Do you have any pivots in your life that have really changed the trajectory of what you thought you were going to be doing or where you thought you would be, and then it's ended up somewhere else?
Yeah. But I'm in the midst of like a pivot return.
Ooh, like a Saturn return.
Indeed. Because, and it's also like a strange one because I'm whatever. I'm not going to qualify.
Don't qualify.
So from the age of 3, I knew that I always wanted to be a singer and an actor. And that was like my little 3-year-old mantra, which is the mantra of many 3-year-olds. But maybe it's just like because it was just me being like, this is all I want. I either want to be the hot lady on the elephant at the circus or a singer and an actor.
Yeah.
And so I went to college for a myriad of things, but I ended up studying physical theater and performance, which is what I got for my very expensive BA. And right at the end of that, Mountain Man, my first band, started getting internet attention. So from like the week after I graduated college, I was on tour. and I kind of grabbed onto, because music was the first performance thing that I could attach to. I was like, well, it's here. I'm taking it. And I haven't really gotten off that train.
That makes total sense, obviously.
Yeah. And I've written it. I've like been on tour for my entire adult life since that moment.
That's crazy.
And I always, when I decided to take music, I was like, you know what? Music is like, it's the same. It's essentially the same thing. Like you're still like connecting life experience through performance. You're just writing songs about it instead of recreating stories in the same way. But at the end of this year, I got to be in a movie again and got to like fully remember and rediscover what acting feels like. And I'm just
so cool.
like, I just love it. And it makes me high in the same way that singing and writing songs does. And I'm so now I'm like opening my year with a whole new, fun, weird, super gatekeepy and wild like land of like trying to figure out how to crack open another industry, which is so fun.
Listen, I'm on a TV show with a woman who, honestly, I don't know if acting was a thing that Sarah Bareilles like truly ever was like, that's the thing. Like music was always the thing. Mm-hmm. One of her sisters is a comedian and an actor, but like, you know, they are from a creative family as well. But you know, when it like showed up and she was like, felt very similar to what you're describing. Like, oh, this is another way to do the thing that I love to do and connect. Mm-hmm. And like, I think she's one of the best actresses I've ever worked with, to be honest.
She is so good. Because I saw her great. Also, I saw her in Into the Woods because of you.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that I hooked that up for you.
Yeah, you hooked that up.
You love Into the Woods like I do.
It's so good. And she was so excellent. She was just so excellent. It was such an absolute joy to get to see her do that.
Just an excellent person. She's like seems very good at being a person, which I appreciate.
But Amelia, back to you.
Yeah, when can we see your?
Yeah, what is the movie called?
The movie is called Lovers. It's I'm not sure. I have no idea because also like I'm a brand new baby. I don't even know like
you
when
did your part, and
I don't know how any of this works. I was just the cool best friend in the movie. It was so fun. And
you were working with someone I know. Who were you working with? I can't remember.
Angela Trimber.
Yes, Angela. The best.
Who I love. Yeah. Yeah, she's
the best.
And I was her like best friend. And
did you guys dance a lot together?
We didn't ever really have like a moment of dance in the movie, but like we did a lot of like rubbing up against each other. And like,
I mean, I just can imagine
just getting cozy for scenes. Like,
she's always like embodied and dancing and flowing all over the place. I love it.
Yeah, it was such a joy to be around another mover too, because I don't like being a musician is such a singular pursuit, so I don't usually get to dance with anybody unless they're like dancers who are much better than me that I've hired to be around me to make me look excellent. And in that case, I can't dance because then it will show how truly weird of a dancer I actually am.
Not true. There are no weird dancers.
No, your expressions of dance are perfect. I love them.
Thank you.
Well, that's really exciting. I wonder if it's like indie, but they're going to do like festivals with it. Maybe
it's deeply indie. I think they're going to do festivals. Yeah. It's going to be,
and then we'll get to see it when it gets bought by the highest bidder at Sundance next year.
Exactly. Yeah. After we do the full festival circuit.
I'm so excited though. No, I'm really excited.
I'm very happy
excited for you to like figure out other versions of what that could be, like what that looks like for you. I know.
Yeah, it's so exciting. I'm so grateful for I've been in music long enough and have been so blessed to have a really I now have an actual career, which is something that a lot of doesn't happen for a lot of musicians.
Yeah, it's true.
And getting to say hello to a brand new industry, while I'm coming up, cresting over this interesting musical hump of being I know everything that can happen for me here. Right. And getting to see something else on the horizon is just so exciting.
I love it. That's really great. Honestly, I know. No, I mean,
It's
you
a
knew
good
that because we
pivot.
talked
10
about
out
it
of
before.
10.
It's a pivot return, right?
This is a pivot
Yes.
return. I do think it's a thing that like showed back up in a moment that it was ready to show up, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm very excited. But I'm also very excited about this tour.
Oh my gosh, me too. That's the other thing also is that like I get to keep on doing everything that I've always loved. Like I get to keep on touring with my wonderful band, which is just me and my partner Nick.
Sandy, Nick.
Nick,
Sandy.
Why does he have two names again?
It's because of me. Well, really, it's because of my best friend Molly.
Okay.
His last name is Sanborn.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, the tour is going to be a dream. I'm so excited to get into like the fun world of building a tour and getting the costumes made and doing all of the. When you're an independent musician, you're essentially a producer like all of the time, you know? So I get to like talk to lighting designers and figure out like how we're going to make the money work for all these different things and how many crew are we going to take out and what's it going to look like, all that fun stuff.
That's that's amazing. And merch, my favorite thing.
And merch. Yeah, we just settled on our merch designer. It's going to be really beautiful.
I love the newest album, No Rules Sandy is what it's called, guys. No Rules Sandy.
Thank you.
Nick. Sandy.
No Rules Sandy. We made it exactly at this time last year. We like drove out to LA and then there was like we drove out to LA for the Grammys and there was a huge COVID wave and everything got canceled. Yeah. And so Nick and I were just in this little rental and we wrote the record in like 3 weeks. It's the fastest record we've ever written. And it's like, it's so fun because we put it out. We were like, fuck it. We just made it. Let's like put it out in like 2 months, which usually you wait. Like usually it would be coming out now.
Right.
And because vinyl is so backed up now, like the vinyl is going to be released now.
Oh,
which is great.
That's amazing.
Like, yeah, we keep on getting
coincide.
To like release records twice, essentially in this climate, which I love doing.
That's very cool. It's like hardback and paperback for authors.
Exactly.
Smart. I think it's genius.
I do too.
Yeah.
And I love it. What is the song that I love so much? Is it the last like that I like have on all these? I'm trying to like. It's Coming Back to You, I think.
Oh yeah, it's slow.
Yeah, the slow one.
Yeah, the ballad.
I
needed
really
to put one ballad on there.
I really appreciate that song, and then I get the fuck down to the rest of them.
Yeah.
Which I'm like looking at the tour dates, and I'm like, first of all, are you coming to New York? I am
coming to New York. I am coming to New York, and we can't. The way that a lot of tour dates work, like you have to wait either because we're playing a festival in the area or because all of the stuff about the shows haven't been hammered out. But we are coming to New York. We're playing a room that we've only opened in before, and I'm really excited about it.
Okay. That's very exciting. It's very exciting. I'm very excited. I can't wait.
Mm-hmm. Well, everyone, you should all be excited too, because it sounds like it's going to be a great tour, and you should go to sylvanesso.com and find out when you can go see.
And then if your city's
Amelia
not listed, just be mad and reach out to Amelia and yell at her.
I was going to say, don't yell at Amelia.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh, right. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But you know what? Don't yell at us either.
Yeah, darn.
No, I don't want to hear it.
Anybody. Yeah.
I'm not interested in your bullshit.
Yeah. In fact, if you are mad, come up with a nice compliment and put it in the comments.
That's right.
Yes. Or just, I don't know, put something on Craigslist, maybe get a carpool going, rent a van with friends, make a road trip, idea. Go see the show. Or
pick a city you've always wanted to go to. Can I actually tell you, I don't know if I'll be back from Sweden for your show at the Greek, because the Greek is literally like one of my favorite venues in the world. I love it. But then I also saw that you're playing the Red Rocks, and I've never
come to Red Rocks. It's so magical. You would love it. And you're from Arizona.
Yeah.
So it's like in the deserted zone.
I've wanted to go to a show at the Red Rocks for a very long time. And as we learned with my ill-conceived fish move, I really need to see bands that I love and vibe on, man.
Oh, yeah. I love that I was asking, I saw that you were at Fish because they play one of our records during their set break, Busy. And they like, on that day when you were like, I'm at Fish, I was getting so many texts, people being like, they're playing your record. And so I was texting you to make sure. But
and I was like,
and you
honey,
were like,
I left.
She didn't.
I was there for 3 moments. And
I
then you
had to get
back
the
home.
fuck out of there.
Fish is a strong toke. I only like them because my husband likes them. And during the pandemic, I would set our alarm clock to a different live Fish set so that we could wake up to applause every day, which really helped with my depression.
Oh my God, that's, by the way, hilarious. I have to tell you, I was just like so overwhelmed by the sheer masculinity of the whole thing. And like, I am not in the place for it.
That is so Busy. You like, I love hearing your reviews of shows because like I would never think of Fish as masculine, or I guess they're like Vermonty. To me, they're just like woodgy, like they're just like little noodly guys, you know. So I'm not like I don't think of like I'm not.
But
like,
even like
Fish is butch.
no, but I think that most of their fans are men.
Beards.
I think that's true. And I think that I was just getting like a vibe, man. That I was like, these are the dudes that I don't want to hang out with, right? Like, I don't want to hang out with these dudes.
She was on mushrooms, to be
all right. To be fair,
Oh yeah.
obviously.
No. Yeah. If you're on mushrooms and you don't like the scene, you gotta go.
You had to go.
Yeah, you had to. You also like you saved yourself. Yeah, you walked through the city on mushrooms.
Yes,
Did you take
and
a
then
car home. That's so romantic.
No, I walked.
Yes,
I walked,
you did.
and I stopped in at this Mexican restaurant I like, and I ordered enchiladas to go, and then brought them back to my Casa Kismet, my apartment, and I like took my shirt off because I was sweating because it was so hot walking, and literally like put on music and like danced in my to the Whole of the Moon, and then to other songs. The Water Boys, the Whole of the Moon song that became an anthem in the last several weeks, and then and then like I mean there was definitely some Sylvan Esso that happened that night, and I was just like doing it. I was like, I'm not Instagram storying this. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just having this moment.
Yes,
it was fun, and I ate my enchiladas. It was delightful.
It's a perfect night, really. Thank you,
really.
Fish. Thank you, Fish.
Thanks, Fish. Thanks, Fish.
Okay, Amelia, thank you so much. We love you. I love you. I'm so glad you got to meet Caissie because now you guys will be friends. And
so nice to meet you.
I'll see you so soon. I feel like you'll let me know when you're in New York next.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be there in like 4 days.
Great.
We're doing a session. And we're doing a TV. We should hang.
Yeah, I'm going to LA Friday the 13th for the Critics' Choice Awards.
Ooh, fun.
I know. I'm excited. I'm going with Michelle. And then I'm coming back here, I think, Tuesday. So if you're still here.
I think we're going to swap places because I'm going to LA after.
Freaky Fridays.
Boo.
I don't like it. Well,
I don't like it either. We're going to run it. We'll do it. We'll
You'll catch
figure it
up
out
somewhere. Yeah.
That's right. Maybe it'll be an airport lounge. We don't know.
Yes, please. Y'all, thank you so much for having me.
It was
such
so
a joy.
fun hanging out with you.
So fun.
What a great vibe.
Until Nick Sandy, we said hi.
Oh my God, I will.
Nick Sandy. All right. Have the best day with your poppies. Love you.
Yeah, I will. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
That was really nice.
She is such a ray of sunshine. I'm so happy I got to finally meet her.
I think she's really special. She's like a really special person.
She is a very special person. That was so cool. And I was really happy to get to break the news to her about the Ben Affleck Dunkin Donuts commercial.
I mean, I think that for you guys from Massachusetts, that's like a whole other level
of a big deal.
Have you talked to Josh Gondelman today? I mean, I have
to probably
feel like
call
you need
him.
to text him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
this
text
is worth
him.
a call.
It's worth a
maybe.
call.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's intense. Okay, can we talk about one other thing?
Yes.
We didn't really finish talking about Harry.
We didn't really finish talking about Harry, and pretty soon the Golden Globes red carpet is going to start, and I'm wondering, if
I'm not there.
Like, is it going to be?
Is it going to wash away?
Is it going to rain on these people? That's the question. Is it going to begin to rain again? Anyway, but I'm just throwing it out there. I'm wondering, is this going to happen? Is there going to be a red, wet carpet? But let's finish talking about Harry.
Well, I'm just curious what your hot take is, because I have been thinking a lot about it, and as a person who some might say overshares her own life, I'm a little interested in the response that people have been giving from these excerpts from his book. And because it feels like people are being really unkind to a man being vulnerable, to me.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's like, I think it's a lot of things. I think I've seen people being unkind.
I just mean in the press or
Yes. I think that, how you can say anything about Harry when Prince Andrew is standing right there. I don't know.
Wait, by the way, that's Birdie's point. Birdie's I'm sorry. Prince Andrew literally is a rapist of underage girls.
I mean, it looks that way, and I just don't understand. And I guess it's because Harry put himself out there, so people feel like it's fair game. Here's what I feel like. I feel like, let's not kid ourselves about what goes on in the institution of royalty. A lot of fucked up shit, And so do I believe that it's possible that he's, trying to generate goodwill toward him and his wife by telling stories in such a way that puts them in a 100% flattering light, while also, putting other people in an unflattering light? Yeah, it's possible. That's how everybody tells a story. When you're trying to get someone to feel, when I want someone to feel.
No, I think I'm really hard on myself when I tell stories about situations. I think that was the one thing about my book that I felt while a lot of people gave me a lot of fucking shit for being that it was a tell-all and a fucking blah, blah, whatever.
Yeah.
I was did you fucking read it? Because I'm real hard on myself and real mean to myself at points. And I take a lot of fucking responsibility.
It's also your story to tell. So it's
That's right.
when I'm telling a story about how someone did something wrong to me, obviously that's the lens through which I'm telling it. And the feeling that accompanies my retelling of it. Now, I wouldn't expect anyone to believe that my version is 100% unvarnished or unbiased. Obviously, I'm bringing something personal to it. Am I gonna add in oh, to be fair, I was a complete bitch to him 2 days ago or whatever?
Maybe,
I might.
Maybe. You might.
I might, or I might not. Who knows? I don't know. But
you would. I know you. I actually know you.
I probably would. But the thing is, if
I love this hypothetical where I'm yes, except I was there. Okay, I was there, and you would. You did. You did include it in the book. Caissie.
I probably would if I felt like it was I don't know. Who knows? Because also, who fucking knows? None of us have been princes or princesses.
I mean, that's my fucking point. Jesus, people. Also, with the trauma of his fucking mother's death and his father having an affair with this woman for so many years that was so public that everybody knew about, that devastated his mother so deeply, and then yeah, dude, that's some fucking trauma. I feel I didn't watch the Anderson Cooper 60 Minutes Did you?
I only watched some clips of it, but I did like how they were like, you know, made it a point to say that they asked the palace for comment, and the palace was like, we need to see the entire interview first before we'll comment. And Anderson Cooper was like, we don't do that here. You know, like
That's not how this press works.
yeah, that's not how. I mean,
He's like, I'm of the American royal family, the Vanderbilts. And
Maybe you've
the
heard of us.
royalty. Maybe you've heard of the Vanderbilts. I'm sure you have.
But yeah, I mean, listen, who knows? And like also in terms of like Harry telling his story with a certain point of view or slant or whatever, like stories have been told against him for so long with a certain point of view. So
Wait,
like if
so he says though that the Nazi costume was like he was being egged on by William and Kate. That
think
is like some good dirt. I
mean-
that tea is like that's an I you guys didn't see because this is a podcast, but I looked at Caissie and I raised my eyebrows. That's what that is.
I mean, if true, as the kids say,
If I don't
Big
think they say it
if
anymore,
true.
but that's what we say.
is what people who used to be kids but who are now fully adults used to say a long time ago. But yeah, a lot was said, and so you got to give it to him. He like, if you're gonna write a tell-all, it's not boring.
You know what I say? Can't wait to fucking read it. I'm so excited. I haven't been this excited about a book maybe ever. Like, oh no, Elena Ferrante, since the last Elena Ferrante
yes,
book came out,
yes.
like in the trilogy
Yeah.
of the Neapolitan
Yes.
trilogy.
Gosh.
But like, I don't know. I like saw Bethany Frankel going off on. I like follow her on Instagram. I'm like,
Yeah.
girlfriend, stop. Just stop. No one.
We
We
could have
can't.
no way of
we
knowing.
can't have any way of knowing. And also, like, I do question the toxic masculinity ingrained in our culture that causes people to question and like ridicule a man who's being
Right.
very vulnerable about things
Right.
that deeply hurt him.
Right.
Because I've seen a lot of responses that to me feel like their intention is like to be emasculating.
Right.
And that part to me makes me the most upset
Right.
because I want all people to know that like sharing their trauma and their truth and their story is always an available road, and they don't
Yeah.
have to be stoic and they don't have to like hold it all in. I like fucking love that he's like gone balls to the wall, as it were.
And also, you don't have to be perfect. Nobody like here's the thing, and it kind of ties into something that I was gonna say when we were having the friendship conversation. Is like we don't always have to throw people away for like whatever reason. Like if someone is absolutely trash and they would cause you harm, or you see them causing other people harm, yes, absolutely, you don't need that person in your life or whatever. But we don't need to throw imperfect people away all of the time, so long as we can like accept their imperfectness and live with it and enjoy the parts of them that are good for us and good to us, and you know, and that's mutual. And so like by the same token, like it is entirely possible that this is a guy who has grown up in this rarefied air that none of us could even imagine what it was
Ever.
like, for better
Ever.
or for worse, you know, from like, you know, just having all of the privilege in the world to also like losing your mother at a young age because of like the
In a
poisonous
horrific way.
in a horrific way, and having to like have that play out publicly and follow you for the rest of your life. Now, that being said, is he like a dude that's done some dumb shit? Yes, obviously.
Oh yeah, honey, I'm not forgiving the Nazi costume. You know what I mean?
Is he a
But I'm
dude
just
that's
saying.
like that's unrelatable to all of us? Yes, obviously.
In
But
some ways,
is he also like a guy that has been like, you know what? Let me take my platform and try to do some good with it. And let me
Yes.
try to like learn from the douchey things that I've done in the past. And, you know, I mean, yes, I see that growth. And like,
Me
do
too.
I still see him saying and doing douchey things that make me roll my eyes? Kind of, sometimes, yeah. But like, I think he's like giving a very complete picture to us. He's sharing a very complete picture of what a guy like him, like what his life is like. And like, we're not
And it's
entitled.
messy. It's fucking messy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not entitled to see it. He's just choosing to
Right.
say like, this is, you know, and so for all of these things that you're like, you know, oh my God, it's too much. Not that you're like, but like people, it's too much that he shared that he had a frostbitten
Overshare.
dick. It's overshare. You know what? Things have happened to William's dick too. You know, we just don't know about it because they're two different kinds of guys. And so, you know,
Things have definitely happened to my dick.
things have happened to everyone's dick.
That's
and
right.
it's just a matter of like, are you going to be the kind of person that's like, authentically, my dick was frostbitten? Or are you going to be the kind of person that's like, I don't like to talk about my dick in public. And I don't also like my brother to say that I like, you know, physically attacked him one time when I was mad? Or are you the kind of guy that's like, brothers fight, you know, like that happens. I don't know. It's all interesting to me, but I think like, I'm not in a rush to throw Harry away the
Me
way
neither.
that it seems like I can't make a definitive pronouncement on
Me
any
neither.
person, you
No,
know?
me neither.
And that's
I'm like, honestly, well, I'm the opposite. I'm like rooting. I'm rooting for them.
oh, I'm rooting for them too.
And wildly, I'm in full support of a tell-all. I'm in full support of like him saying all of his truths, because I think that like the sickness of our culture is keeping secrets.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
And he
I
had the
think that
courage
people who
to
keep secrets and people who lie about who they are and
Right.
like what life is for them, like are the problem, not a guy who's like,
right.
here
And
it is.
He had the courage to say it with his own mouth and put his own name on it.
Yeah, no shit.
Like
It's
everybody,
not a blind item, dudes. He's literally like, hey, guess what? Ugh.
yeah. And everybody's been telling every story they want to tell about him without attaching their name to it all through his whole life in the press. And so like if he
was
like
a child,
if he
Can you fucking
exaggerated
imagine?
some things or told too much or whatever, like I don't give a shit. It's his fucking life. And like, by the way, I get it. He got like whatever, $40 million to write this
Also,
book.
by the way,
And
though,
so, like,
I'm in support of that. Like anyone who's listening, who's got $40 million that they want to give me and Caissie, I will scorch
I'll tell you
the earth.
everything.
What do you want?
I will set that
to
earth on
know?
fire. I'll salt it so nothing ever grows there again.
I will. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, kind of not.
What are you doing your best at this week?
Honey, it is a process.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing my best at like acceptance of
Yeah.
things that like I will never be able to understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it. Like just the acceptance of like, sometimes you don't get to know things,
Right.
and
Right.
that just is what it is.
Right. That's the trouble when, when we're talking about telling our own stories is when your story interlocks like a puzzle piece with someone else's story. And, you only get what they're willing to tell you. And
Well,
you
and
can't-
filling in the blanks can be really dangerous if you're a person who defaults to your own, shortcomings or
Right.
perceived shortcomings.
Right.
Or if you're a person who defaults to, if only I was,
Right. Right.
But
You are who you are.
I am what I am. That's like a real Hoffman thing. I am what I am.
And also a Popeye thing. He was onto something.
I found these two things today when I was cleaning some stuff out. And one of them, I want to read it. One of them is from flowers that I sent myself, like after I came home from Hoffman.
Yeah.
And the card said, and it's handwritten, which is like so amazing when florists do that. Like,
Yeah,
I
I love
love
that.
it, you know?
Yeah.
But it says, I see you and I love you. And I forgive you for everything that was done from a place of negative love and pain. I love your whole self just as you are.
Aww.
And I thought that was so nice. I put them up, like, you know, behind my desk, like to look at. Like, I need to remember that I see myself and I love myself and I forgive myself.
Yeah.
For things that I have done and like will probably do again. You know, like I am an imperfect human being, obviously.
Yeah.
And I will keep being imperfect as long as I'm allowed, as long as this like fucking mortal coil, whatever. As long as my body like is allowing me to, man. Like
if it's,
you know,
the day you're perfect is the day you're perfectly dead.
Well, that's like when we sold the house. That's what Mark and I say. We were done with the house when like somebody else came to buy it.
Yeah.
Like it's, you know, it's a journey. Here's another thing that I found. You know, there's this girl in LA who would do these, like she was like a busker, but she was like poems out of like a little suitcase typewriter thing.
Cute.
And she would set up on Larchmont or like at parties sometimes. I really liked her. And her name is Jay Suskin. This is from February 2018. So a couple of years ago. Oh yeah. Several years ago, I guess. And it's called, I don't know what I asked her for. You would like generally like go up and like give her a tip.
Yeah.
And then she would just like write a poem.
Yeah.
And then hand it to you.
Okay.
But this poem is called Kindness. And it goes, how we lean into our love with an ease and spirit of care that covers all we do. Constant connection finds strength each day, and we celebrate it with a shared joy, the worth of our wisdom, bright between hearts, and this sense of gentle expression rises into form each time we tend to our own kindness, each time we count the years in awe.
Aww.
Isn't that nice?
I love that. That's so
I
great.
do too. So anyway, yep, that's what I'm doing my best at. Oh. Sorry.
Oh
Caissie, and how are you? And what are you doing your best at?
You know, I'm doing my best at like keeping it together, you know, and like keeping, and I mean like, that doesn't mean never falling apart. It means like, you know, watching where
riding the wave.
Yeah, watching where the pieces fall and then picking them up when you're done dropping them and like doing the next thing that you have to do. So I've just been like super keenly aware of like, well, I just said like I only have this stomach to watch the Jeffersons. There were a couple days where I was like, I know the only thing I'm going to be able to eat is like a McDonald's child's cheeseburger. You know what I mean? Like that's what I can digest. And I know that I've talked about this a lot in the past, like during like scary pandemic days about like how you get a touchy stomach for like what you can watch or listen to or talk about or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, so there just have been things where I've been trying to like really identify like, this is a thing that I don't want to do. Like my mother-in-law she grabbed up a bunch of mail from my mom's house and sent it overnight to us just to try to help us like make sense of like start to make sense of this puzzle that we're kind of left with of like, you know, what, you know, where things are supposed to go and how we're supposed to handle them. And I know that like that big fat package came and I just put it down and I was like, I can't open it. Like I can't open it. And so you know, I got an email from like the lawyer, Laurel, who's helping me try to make heads and tails out of my mom's
Bless
estate.
Laurel, by the way.
Bless Laurel. She's the best. And you know, she said like, here's some pieces of information that I need. And I was like, I think that I can search through old texts with my mom to try to find out some of this information, but I absolutely know that I can't open that mail. And so I'm going to need Matt to do it. Like, I'm going to need Matt to do it. You know, I can't even rip that envelope open. So that's what we did. And he was great and really, you know, stepped up and wasn't like, he didn't do that thing that like maybe old us would have done, and that I think happens in a lot of relationships, not just like partnerships, but like relationships where he could have been like, come on, what's wrong with you? You can open an envelope. You know what I mean? Or like, you just have to do it. You know, like I know you don't, we all have to do things we don't want to do.
Like, I won't know what the stuff is. You have to see it.
Right.
That's actually like more accurate to like what fucking people do, which is like, I mean, I can't do this. You have to do it.
Right.
You know,
and you're like, I know you don't want to, but you know,
you have to. Yeah.
Right. But he just didn't. He was like, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to look at it and I'm going to tell you what it is. And then once you know what it is, like if you feel like you can look at it, then you can look at it, you know? And so he was great and like divided things into piles and folders. And when I said like, oh, I need this date, he was like, I know where that is. That's in this folder here. Here it is, you know? And so he was just great. And then I realized that I had this like, this is so stupid. The amount that I talk about fucking laundry on this podcast, I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry that it's I
didn't even get into it. I'm having a real laundry situation. Real laundry situation.
I had a real epiphany this week. Was like our laundry was out of control and I was doing loads of laundry. And like, to be frank, the most of it, like I'm at home, so I'm not like out in the world, like getting scuzzy too much. So like I have like one outfit per day, but like Matt has like work clothes and then like home clothes and pajamas and everything. And the kids do their own laundry. Obviously they're adults. So it's just me and Matt's laundry. And so I was washing mostly his laundry. And when I went to put it away, I just realized that I was like spinning out because, you know, he has ADD as well. And like his system of where to put things is chaotic to me and doesn't make sense. And then I was like,
honey, all you would have to do when my sister and I were kids is my mom would come in and be like, clean your fucking room. And my sister or I would be like, ask us to find anything. And we could find it in 2.5 seconds. Right. Exactly where it was.
Of course.
Yeah. ADHD, baby.
So I just was like, listen, I know that this is like your stuff and it's like, and you probably do know where everything is and it probably makes 100% sense to you. It doesn't make sense to me and I'm the one here and I'm the one washing the laundry. And further, I really feel like I need to just be able to accomplish this simple thing of putting away my husband's laundry for him. So if you can, before you go to sleep, this is at like 1 a.m., by the way, if you can, before you go to sleep, can you just make labels on all your drawers of like where your socks go, where your underwear goes, where your t-shirts go? And like, to his credit, he was like, this is dress socks. These are work socks way down at the other end. I don't know why, but that's where they go. And these are my like t-shirts with writing on them. And these are my t-shirts that are plain. And yes, they're not right next to each other. Again, this is just how my brain works. It was like a huge deal. And then he said yes to that. And I was just like, yeah, you just have to fucking like get ultra specific about like what you need. And can someone do that for you? And then so again, like I just had this pile of laundry in my office/closet that had been there for so long, busy. Like, I'm not even joking you, probably like 6 weeks it's been there of just like things that like I don't know why I couldn't put it away. I don't know why it, like what happened where I just got frozen. I've been like washing and putting other stuff away, but everything in that pile was like psychically, I couldn't touch it. And I hated it so much and it was making me hate myself so much. And then
God,
finally,
I know that feeling, by the way.
yes, of course, everybody knows the bag that you don't unpack when you come home from a trip and you just leave it in your closet for weeks or months or whatever. Anyway, the upshot is like in that moment, I just said to Matt, like, I will give you $100 if you put that pile of laundry away. For me, like, can you please, like, I put a bunch of your laundry away this week. Can you just put that stuff away? And he was like, I am going to have to ask you where every single thing goes. And I was like, it's okay. I'll tell you where every single thing goes.
That's really nice.
He did it and it's away. And I just feel a million times better. And I know that I would not have done it myself. And so I just feel like super, super grateful and really lucky. He also said that I don't have to pay him the $100, which is nice.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right.
I knew he wouldn't.
I'm gonna say I think that's right.
I knew he wouldn't take it.
I have to just circle back real quick to something that Amelia said, back to the thing about like creating your environment.
Yes.
And you know, you're walking through grief in a real intense fucking way, and I am too, in a different fucking weird world. And oh, man, I today was like very similarly was like, I'm sending all this laundry out right now because our fucking dryer won't dry.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine. I'm sending all this laundry out. Like I'm like delegating where these things are going. Like I'm getting rid of this. I'm like, put it on the fucking curb. I don't get it out of my space.
Right.
Like you want clarity. Like I want to create the environment that is going to be most conducive to like kindness to myself.
Yeah. And I also realized too that yes, I want that clarity. And I also realized that like I would work really hard to the point of frustration to give that clarity to someone else, aka like I would put my husband's laundry away, but when it came to my own pile, I couldn't do it for some reason. I know it sounds so silly, but I also know that 1,000 of you are like shaking your head yes right now and being like, no, I know this.
It's the same thing. Like literally, Caissie, every room in the family home was like totally completed and furnished. Yeah. And I still had like a mattress on a bed. Like that was it. Right. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have, I didn't finish, I didn't have curtains. I still had paper stuck up on my windows. Right. Because I was like, I literally took care of my children and even my ex. I was like, wait, do you have the curtains that you want? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and so when you get to that point, I would just like to encourage everyone based on like, you know, obvious revelation of the week. When you get to that point where you've done so much for other people, because it's easy to do things for other people, but so hard to do the thing for yourself, is like, then that's the time to ask, like, can you help me do this? Like, what can you help me? I need help. And to not be embarrassed about how stupid that you feel about like needing help to put away a pile of laundry, because like nobody felt stupid about you putting away their fucking laundry. You know what I mean?
Think about it. It's just a given.
Yeah. So, you know, when you feel like I should be able to do this, it doesn't matter. If you're stuck and you can't do it, it doesn't matter. And so even if it's just like calling a friend or texting a friend and being like, will you talk on speakerphone with me while I like handle this pile of papers or whatever? Or like, can we get coffee together and like you just sit with me while I like clean out my purse or something? Like all those things work. I'm really lucky. I know I'm really lucky to have a partner here in my house who is like, yeah, I'll do this with you. I'll walk through this with you. Not everybody has that, but I do think like that's one thing that we're working on all the time is like building community. And that's kind of like what community is for. Like when you need it, like, I hope you know someone that you can say like, I'm stuck here. can you help me get unstuck from this place? Because it feels so good to get unstuck. It feels so good to get unstuck. And, like, if you were literally stuck, like if you were stuck somewhere on the street, someone passing by would help you. And I think most people that would understand like a more metaphorical situation of being stuck. And if like the person that you reach out to doesn't get it, then fuck that person, like, find someone else. But I really encourage everyone to, to understand that sometimes it's way harder to do something for yourself that you would easily do for someone else. And then think about who you've easily done things for a million times. And when you need help, turn to that person and say, like, I'm stuck. And like, remember that time I did this for you? Can you help me?
You don't
do
have to say, you would never have to say that, by the way.
Hopefully not. But, like we're learning. And like,
well, sometimes you find out. You're right. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes you find out what people are capable of.
Sometimes you find out and sometimes you'll find out that somebody has been wanting to help you, has been wanting to give you something. And sometimes you'll find out that person is like kind of immature and not in that place where they understand. And, I'm not saying throw that person away. I'm just saying move on to someone else that does get it. But if you're having a hard time doing something for yourself when it's very, very easy for you to do things for other people, it's time to put your hand up and say, like, listen, I know this is weird, but I just need help with this.
I think it's a great place to end today because I love you.
I love you too, and I miss you, and I'm very excited I'm going to get to see you soon.
I'm really excited that we get to see each other. It's been weirdly such a short period of time, but
it feels like forever.
Long. I know. The whole world changed.
The whole world changed. Yeah.
In so many ways. Ah.
And we love all of you. And
we love you guys.
Thank you to everyone who sent me the kindest messages about everything. Oh, shoot. There were 2 more stories that I wanted to tell that I didn't even get close to telling. But either I'll save them for another week or like put them on the Substack or something. But
wait. We could do a Substack. Let's do a Substack.
Okay, great.
Let's do a Substack from LA.
Okay, great.
This weekend.
Okay,
before
great.
the Critics' Choice. Ooh.
Ooh.
Should we make Michelle talk to us? As we've been promising everyone?
I mean, that would be amazing. We'll see. We'll see how she's feeling because that's a lot. That's a big.
It's a lot of
day.
pressure.
Yeah,
it's a lot of pressure.
And
I don't know what's happening. Did the Golden Globes start?
I don't.
Shit.
I mean, yeah, probably. Let's go check in on the Golden Globes, and we'll talk to you guys soon. We love you so much, and just thank you for everything. You're all wonderful, and we love you,
guys. We love you. In case you haven't heard it today, you're fucking great.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Oh no.